He made 11 appearances for them in their rookie-level Arizona League team. And after the 30 days, he and the Cubs mutually agreed to part company. It wasn't going to work out there, but Webb certainly feels like he's got tread left on his tires, trying to get his career restarted like so many have through the Atlantic League. He has joined Somerset for the time being. How long that is before somebody purchases his contract, it is getting late in the affiliated season, so Webb could stick around Somerset for the rest of the year and look to sign with a major league organization during the offseason. But he is the veteran of well over 300 major league appearances. 5 times he has been in 50 or more ball games. A matchup of right-handers here this evening. Gardner, who has done his best career work overall against Somerset here in the Atlantic League, against Ryan Webb. Earlier today, I spoke with the manager of what has been the premier franchise in the Atlantic League. They have had more titles, 6, than any other club. He's been part of a lot of them. And, of course, I'm talking about their skipper, Brett Jody. I'll be back with Brett to talk about the success and the very unusual team he has put together this year that has very little in the way of home run punch. I'll be back with Brett in just a moment here on the Lancaster Barnstormers YouTube channel. Welcome back to this edition of the Gockenauer Home Appliances Dugout Report. It's our annual check-in with the manager of the Somerset Patriots, Brett Jody. And Brett, congratulations on yet another first-half title. It's almost like you guys are set in stone to win the first half in the Liberty Division. It's year in and year out.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, we don't ever take it for granted. It's a tough contest to come in here and compete against all these teams, but we're very fortunate to be able to secure a playoff berth. That's what it's all about. You know, you go through this grind the whole season, and you hope it can pay off with a playoff berth and go to the postseason. And you know, it's a new season then when that starts. But we're trying to finish up the second half here strong. Still trying to win this half also. I've been going through some difficulties with the pitching rotations and different things, some injuries, some guys getting picked up, which everybody goes through. But sometimes they can hit at a tough time. So we're going through that right now, but starting to get things back where we needed a little bit. Still got a couple pieces missing, but we're feeling good about where we are.
You're operating with a team that has very little home run power. I think the last time we played you, I totaled it up. Your club had 11 home runs and 1,430 at bats or something like that this year. It's kind of an odd team to operate, but you're very well schooled at playing little ball and getting things like the 2-out RBI singles.
I think what you have to do is use what your strengths are. We are not a team that leaves the yard a lot right now, so you can't try to create that and just hope they start coming. We realized that pretty early on that we didn't have that kind of team. Even some of the guys we brought in that thought were power guys just weren't hitting for the power that we thought they were going to bring. So you adapt to the team you have. We have some good speed. We have some tough outs in the lineups. We have guys that can hit and run, bunt, hit a single, have a tough AB, maybe wear down a pitcher. So there's a lot of aspects that we can do. We try to play really good defense also, and the pitching has been pretty solid. But we'll leave the yard occasionally. I think Coronado actually, which was with you guys, actually hit a 3-run homer for us against York the other day. Put us up, and everybody was kind of like looking around, like, is it that easy? Like you can hit a 3-run homer and get 3 runs in one swing. So it's kind of fun, funny to see that. But obviously we'll take the long balls, but in the meantime, we try to create some offense sometimes and kind of get it whichever way you have to. And you have to get creative in this league. You can't just sit back and let guys play and just hope things work out. Sometimes you have to force the issue, or you be smart with it or whatever. But kind of go to your team's strengths, and that's what we're doing right now.
You always seem to have at least one player. We've got Rico Noel, who's like this. You always have the Traps and the Francosos, guys you can move around to a number of different places, and they fit in well wherever you put them.
Versatility is very, very much a key in this league. As you well know, there's a lot of people that leave and get picked up or injuries or whatever, so you have to have guys that can play multiple positions. Francoso, I was kidding with him today. He was actually catching a couple bullpens, and I was like, we got to get you an inning behind the plate and one on the mound, and I think he'll play everywhere just about. So we know he can really play everywhere. Traps the same way. Massey can play the outfield, infield. I mean, he can kind of go around. We have a lot of guys that can play everywhere, and that's very, very useful and very fortunate to have those guys in this league right now.
You're actually starting to catch up to the Barnstormers. I don't think you're going to get to us by the end of the season, but closing the gap on the stolen base count, too.
I haven't looked at the total. I don't pay attention to that. I just know we have a lot of guys in the lineup that can run, same as you guys. We always try to prepare for that. It's always a tough thing. You're never out of a game when a Sanford gets on base or something like that, So we know you guys can steal a lot of bases. We have a lot too. Pacioli was hurt in a lot at the beginning of the year and stuff like that, but he's back, and his obviously stolen base percentage is very good. But just a lot of guys that can run at any given time, which we try to be smart with it. But I don't know the total or anything, like I said. But maybe we'll have to look at it and see if we can get a little closer to you guys.
You lost Corey Domel to the Sugar Land Skeeters. We talked to Pete last weekend about what a key element he has been with the Skeeters this year. John Hunton's taken over. It looks like you guys haven't missed a beat.
Yeah, Corey, look, he was with us for 5 years, did a great job. John was trying to transition into life after play and after pitching. So we had to kind of make a spot. You're not as fortunate around here where you can keep 5, 6, 7, 8 coaches or whatever like you do in the major leagues and stuff like that. So you have to kind of narrow it down, and sometimes you have to do multiple things. John obviously does a great job helping sign our players and put a roster together. So that was very important to me. It's not that we wanted to let Corey go, but it's something that you have to kind of transition into and decide, this guy can do multiple things and multiple things well. So it was just time to make a change there. But love Corey, love everything he did for us for 5 years. Obviously, he landed in a good spot too. I called Pete right away when I was talking to Corey and told him we wouldn't bring him back and tried to get Corey an interview down there. So obviously that worked out too, because we don't just discard people. I told Corey this, we don't just discard people and forget about him. We remember what he did for us for 5 years, and always going to be part of the family, and even though he's in a different spot right now, we wish him the best, and he's done a great job down there.
Yeah, the Somerset franchise, like the Lancaster franchise, kind of among the, I guess, elite clubs, if you will, in this league with multiple championships. Somerset has more than anybody else. You're looking at this league now growing, expanding, going into at least one new market next year, possibly more over the next 2 or 3 years. What do you do to keep yourself at the top?
I think you have to adapt a little bit to what's going on, but also just be consistent with who you are. I think we're very honest. We're very upfront with people. We know what product we're looking for. We work hard to do that and get the right people in here. And then we know the league, just like you guys. But it is tough. I feel like years ago it might have been a couple teams were kind of the upper echelon and towards the top. But right now there's so many good parks, so many good places, so many good players. If you don't have a solid 25-man roster or 25-plus right now, it's going to be tough to compete day in and day out. And I think you see that in a lot of the records, how a lot of them are fairly, the same or identical or whatever, or really close together, because anybody can beat anybody at any given time. And, we don't take that lightly, but I don't think we do anything totally different than any other clubs. You just got to, put the right roster together and try to get out there and play hard and get the right mentality of your guys and stuff like that. But like I said, anybody can beat anybody at any given time. And with all these new parks being built and stuff like that, it's tough to compete against. And then Sugar Land's sitting down there by themselves. They have a large pool to draw some players from. We kind of compete against each other in the Northeast, I think, a lot, where maybe, I've had players trying to decide between us and you guys, or us in Long Island, or you guys in York, or whatever. So everybody's kind of competing up here. Sugar Land's got a great talent pool they can choose from down there. Maybe that's part of their success. I'm not sure. But North Carolina now is going to get in the mix, so that'll get some of that talent from that area too. So I'm not giving away any secrets if that's what you're looking for or anything like that. But you guys have been doing fine too. Ross is doing a fine job here in Lancaster. Y'all got a great spot too. So there's and that's it's part of my pitch. Even if a guy's not going to play for us, I want to help him go to another team, whether it's Lancaster or York or wherever it may be. I'll tell a guy, you need to be in this league. Period. Even if it's not our team, you need to be in the league, and I genuinely mean that. Obviously, we'd like to have that person, but I want him to be in the league to make it even better, and that's what it's all about. So I don't have anything bad to say about any team in this league. I think it's a great league. It serves multiple purposes, furthering the level of these guys' play and creating more and more opportunities for them, which is outstanding. And obviously, you can see by the track record how many guys are getting picked up, going back to affiliated ball, opening up other doors, whether it's overseas or whatever. So. Very much a believer in this league. I think it's done a great job, and it's very competitive baseball, and it's fun.
Yeah, and it keeps getting better.
It does. That's basically what I'm saying. It used to be before, a couple, maybe 2-3 teams were kind of ahead of everybody else, but now it really is solid. I mean, it's a great venue. Whatever park you go to on a Friday night, it's going to be a nice setting, a nice game, a nice park, nice playing surface, good attendance, and great quality baseball.
Brett, thanks for taking time out. Good luck to your ball club the rest of the way. We'll see you guys not only the remainder of this weekend, but back here a little bit in September. But you can help us out, too. You got a lot of games coming up against York and New Britain, so they're the two teams trying to chase our tails.
Well, we were down a little bit against Sugar Land, so we didn't help you much out there as far as the division and stuff, but I'm sure any win can help you guys. I know you just want to keep up in the standings. Even if Sugar Land happens to win, you'll be in good shape. Y'all been playing well all year, so hopefully we'll both finish strong and meet each other soon in the postseason.
Brett Jody, the manager of the Somerset Patriots, joining me tonight on the Gockenauer Home Appliances Dugout Report. Starting lineups come your way next, right here on the Lancaster Barnstormers YouTube channel.
Adam Gockenauer back with you again to tell you that we are back this season with Weber Gas Grills. We have the best selection and prices in the area on Weber, and if you mention this ad, you will receive 10% off all in-stock Weber accessories. Don't forget, we also fill your propane tanks here at the store. Don't waste money on exchanges when you can have us fill your tank and save you money. We are your appliance and gas grill headquarters. Come see us today on Main Street in East Petersburg or on the web at Gockenauers.com.
You're totally probably safe to ride on your spare for 6, maybe 9 months?
Don't trust the wrong advice. Get the right tires at the right price right away. It's what we've been doing at Jack Williams Tire right here in Pennsylvania since our family started this business back in 1929. Because doing things the right way is just the Williams way. Get the right tires right now at jackwilliams.com.
Our national anthem this evening here at Clipper Magazine Stadium, the Lancaster Barnstormers entertaining the Somerset Patriots in the second game of a 3-game series. This series will conclude tomorrow at 1 o'clock. We have fireworks following the game tonight. Stop on by. It is an absolutely lovely night for baseball. A few high clouds around, but other than that, spectacular weather and no threat of rain. Joe Gardner on the hill tonight for the Barnstormers, and mixing things up a bit uniform-wise. The Barnstormers are in their home whites, but they've got their warm-up hats on. Those neon yellowish-green hats that they wear during the daytime. Joe thought, hey, let's stir things up a little bit.
Yeah.
So they've got the warm-up hats out.
Are these the rally caps from last night?
These could be the rally caps. But Joe Gardner on the hill. He's facing a lineup that will be led off by Alfredo Rodriguez, the shortstop, Craig Massey, the second baseman, batting number 2. The designated hitter hitting third is longtime Major Leaguer Endy Chavez. Jace Boyd will bat cleanup and play first base. Nate Coronado is the third baseman hitting fifth. It will be Ramon Flores in right field batting sixth. Justin Trapp is the left fielder batting 7th. Boy, did he make a nice play last night. It's Mike Francoso batting 8th. He is in center field this evening. Mike Blank is doing the catching, batting 9th. And as we talked about earlier, Ryan Webb, a Major League veteran reliever, trying to make a comeback. Starting here in Somerset, he will be on the hill tonight for the Patriots. The Barnstormers will have the league's leading base stealer, Darian Sanford, leading off in center. Josh Bell is starting at third base. He is batting number 2. Blake Galen's in right field, hitting third. The cleanup batter is the catcher, Ryan Castile. Trayvon Robinson, the designated hitter, will bat 5th. Casey Hobson batting 6th, playing first base. Vladimir Frias, the shortstop, hitting 7th. Tyler Bortnick is at second base, batting 8th. Rico Noel will make the start in left field tonight. He is batting number 9. On the hill is Gardner, the 6'5" right-hander from the San Francisco Bay Area. He's making his 19th start of 2018. His first pitch is in for a called strike on the shortstop, Rodriguez. No balls, 1 strike as we get things started tonight. 111 hits for Gardner in 92 2/3 innings. He's walked 38, struck out 65. Inside for a ball on Rodriguez. The count is 1-1. Last night, Alfredo Rodriguez battling Tyrell Harris, led off the ball game with a double, and that started a rather unfortunate cascade in the first inning that led to 5 runs. And then from there on out, Harris and the Barnstormers bullpen held, and Somerset staff held, and it ended up 5-0.
Yeah, you minus that half inning, it's a scoreless game, probably going extras.
1-2. Rodriguez checks but takes low. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. The home plate umpire tonight is Chris Eggstrand. The first base umpire is P.J. McConville, and it is Nate Caldwell over at third. 2-2, ground ball up the middle. Gardner couldn't latch onto it, and again, Rodriguez batting with 2 strikes in the count, leads off the game with a base hit. The simple ground single up the middle. The only guy with a chance at that was Gardner, but was hit to his backhand, and he was unable to flag it. It had enough on to get by. Greg Massey, the second baseman, will come to the plate. Massey at .341. He has 1 home run, 32 runs batted in. We've talked about the lack of home run power in this Somerset club. Now, it's Clipper Magazine Stadium. They could hit one out to right field. It can happen just about for anybody here. A ball is outside and low, 1-0. But this is a team built on speed, built on fundamental offense, not built on power at all.
Yeah.
1 ball and no strikes. Here's the delivery, and Gardner is down and away to Massey. 2 balls and no strikes the count.
Well, I think what manager from the Patriots, Brad Jody, was talking to us about earlier today on the pregame show is just the understanding that, yeah, we don't have a lot of guys that are going to leave the yard, but we have guys that are effective with the tools they have. Now 3-0 to Massey, but, that's something that's important to recognize, Dave, and when you look at those that skill set, and what this team has been able to accomplish, it's almost like an old-school baseball team. They're away from what we talk about.
It's like the dead ball era or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
They're playing baseball from 100 years ago, pre-Babe Ruth. Strength to the outside corner. Gardner works one in there to Massey. 3-1 the count.
I feel like in a way, though, you almost enjoy that when we live in today's version of baseball where if you're not hitting home runs, you're not relevant, it feels like.
3 balls, 1 strike. Rodriguez takes off. There's a ground ball to the first baseman, Hobson. His only play is to take it back to the bag himself. Massey is out, 3 unassisted. Rodriguez moves ahead to second. Andy Chavez, the DH, will step in. Gardner trying to avoid the big inning. They've plagued the Barnstormers the entire week. We've seen the 5-run inning last night. We saw a couple of 6s and a 7 over at York. And obviously, for the most part, those are killers. The Barnstormers did survive the 1 6-run inning to win 8-7. But Somerset's pitching staff is Somerset's pitching staff. You don't want to let them get the big lead early as they did last night. Andy Chavez comes to the plate, 277 with 2 home runs. They've both been hit here, and 29 runs batted in. He takes a strike. It is 0-1.
I think what also affects you last night is you look at the offense that got shut out, but here's the tough part. I mean, you're walking up to the plate for the first time in the first inning. You're already down 5 runs. And that can
It's
hurt
tough to
motivation.
overcome. The Barnstormers have done it over the course of time, but it is difficult. Outside a ball, and the Chavez, it is 1-1. And Jimmy Paredes is a big missing piece out of this lineup, and I think his presence, his absence is being felt.
Now, we have a pretty
His
good
presence was felt, too.
I think you have the record somewhere. We have a pretty good stat about how important the first run is in a game.
Ground ball towards shortstop. Frias will dig it up and flip across the diamond. Rodriguez took the opportunity to move ahead to third, but now 2 outs, and Jace Boyd, the first baseman, stepping in. Well, the Barnstormers are terrific when they score first in a ball game. They're 42-11 when they do, and 17-32 when they don't.
Yeah, so
it is that important in a baseball game.
And some people don't think that when you factor in you have 9 innings, you got 27 outs to work with on both sides, but it's numbers like that that you have to start buying into.
First pitch strike delivered to Boyd. It is 0-1. Gardner gave up the leadoff base hit, but that was a ground ball. He's gotten 2 ground balls since then. As long as Joe's getting ground balls, his stuff is good. I like this start. He needs to get Boyd. 0-1, a little bit inside. Ball 1, strike 1.
Yeah, I still think Joe Gardner's 0-win from a couple weeks ago against the Road Warriors, where he went 8 innings and was taken to a loss. So maybe this one is a give me back.
1-1 pitch, spinning around Boyd, 2-1. Now, Joe, unfortunately, only has the 1 win since June 8th, and that was 2 starts ago against the Road Warriors.
And he's had a couple of starts, too, where he's been darn good.
Yeah, he gets out there. He gets out there, he battles. He's
he does.
Not a guy who's going to be overpowering, but he's a guy who knows how to pitch and get ground balls. He misses to Boyd inside. It gets away from Castile briefly. Now, last night, the first run scored as Anderson De La Rosa missed 2 pitches in that same neighborhood. Fastballs tailing, in that case, outside to a left-handed batter, and just didn't pick him up, and Castile has trouble there. Grounded foul 3-2, but fortunately this time Ryan was able to get enough of the ball that it only squirted free by a foot or 2, and there was no pathway for Rodriguez to score. But we are curious about the particular angle of the sun affecting the catcher on those pitches this time of year.
Yeah, I would have loved to talk to De La Rosa about that and get his viewpoint.
Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Gardner gets out of the inning. Nice job for Joe. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and the 1 runner left in scoring position. Joe Gardner pitches the 9th straight shutout inning for the Barnstormers in this series. And now Lancaster will look to get to the Somerset pitching and veteran big leaguer Ryan Webb. When we come back, it is Somerset nothing, the Barnstormers stepping in.
You can measure the power of the Lexus LS500's twin-turbocharged engine, the responsiveness of its adaptive variable suspension, and the clarity of its available 23-speaker audio system. But the only way to truly understand it is to experience it. Discover the feeling only a Lexus can bring at the Golden Opportunity Sales Event, with exceptional offers on our most luxurious models, now until September 4th. See Bobby Rahal Lexus in Mechanicsburg. Click the banner to discover more.
So, John, what should the Eagles' focus be this season?
Eagles Fast Play for sure.
As opposed to what?
I'm talking Eagles Fast Play tickets from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Playing's faster than our wide receiver running a slant.
Faster than our defense blitzing the QB?
Oh, yeah. The game's got progressive top prizes, plus second chance drawings for Eagles game tickets, meet and greets, autographed merchandise, and more.
Wow. I'm going to get mine fast.
Fast Play. Play fast, win instantly. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day.
Making the start tonight for the Somerset Patriots is Major League veteran Ryan Webb. Webb spent 8 seasons from 2009 to 2016 at the big league level with a variety of ball clubs. He first came up with the San Diego Padres in 2009. He also pitched 3 years for the Marlins, 1 year for the Orioles, 1 for the Indians, 1 year for the Tampa Bay Rays. He's appeared in 375 Major League games, 17 and 18 with a 3.43 ERAs. Run into some medical issues. Last year he was in AAA with the Giants, appeared in 17 ball games, 11 games in the Arizona League, and he did well down there, but not enough for the Cubs to find him a spot with their AAA Iowa Farm Club. There wasn't one available. They parted ways, and he's trying to like Darian Sanford leading off for the Barnstormers. Webb into his motion. First pitch to Sanford outside and low. Ball one, no strikes. Darian hitless last night. He's dropped to 277. No home runs, 26 runs batted in on the season. The corners pinch in. Coronado at third, Boyd at first for the Patriots tonight. Rodriguez and Massey are up the middle. The pitch is low, and Sanford gains a 2-ball, no strike advantage. The outfield has Justin Trapp in left, Mike Francoso in center, and Ramon Flores out in right field. Mike Blank is doing the catching with Ryan Webb on the hill. Here's the delivery. Sanford turns his body but takes a strike. Now 2-1. Webb coming out of Clearwater, Florida. He is 6'6", 215-pounder, 32 years of age. 2 balls and a strike. Sanford looks at ball 3 upstairs. A chance for Darian to get on and wreak his usual havoc on the bases. And he'd be an immediate challenge for a guy who's been to the pinnacle of baseball and has to have some idea how to hold runners. 3 balls, 1 strike to Sanford. Light breeze tonight blowing out toward right field.
This is Webb's first start in the Atlantic League?
First appearance in the Atlantic League.
Okay.
Called strike 3 and 2. He officially signed with the Patriots today. Payoff pitch is due to Sanford. Darian, during one stretch in York, was living at 3 balls and 2 strikes. He had a full count, 4 at bats one night.
Wow.
3 and 2 to Sanford. Webb ready to go, and to Darian. Ball 4 is outside and low. Webb presents himself with an immediate challenge by walking Sanford. Darian, the league leader in stolen bases with 62. Also the league leader in being caught, 21. And very often those things go hand in hand.
Yeah, they do. And the other thing with Darian, you mentioned all the full counts that he's taken. That's another part of the job description when it comes to being a leadoff hitter for a team. You give the opportunity for these other guys to see pitches off the arm of Webb. And in this case, you mentioned his first ever appearance in the Atlantic League. That often means a lot of these guys are facing him for the first time ever professionally, so it helps to do that. We'll see if Bell was able to pick up a thing or two.
Josh Bell batting .200, 5 homers, 12 runs batted in. Sanford takes off immediately. The pitch is a called strike. The throw from Blank is not in time, and that is number 63. Back to 75% success for Darian Sanford.
It almost amazes me that this is a guy major league organizations are not looking at right now and saying, we need him. You know, you think about September call-ups and how they work in the MLB, and you're going to get a lot of guys that are going to leave minor league baseball to AA, AAA level, and you're going to need guys to fill those holes. Sanford, I just feel, does so much for a ball club.
0-1 on Bell. The pitch is away. A ball and a strike to Josh. He also was hitless in the series opener last night. A couple of ground balls, a pop-up, and a strikeout. JB physically is in great shape. His timing at the plate just slightly off. Sanford, the runner at second base. Here's a 1-1. It is low for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Blake Galen, the right fielder, waits on deck. The Barnstormers are in a position where they might be able to jump here in the first inning and get off to the flying start. Maybe not quite to the extent that Somerset did last night, but Lancaster definitely in a situation where they've got the first run of the ball game looking at them out at second base. Bell swings and foul tips the 2-1 offering.
Well, I think in any situation, even if it's just a run here in the first inning, it helps wash the taste out of your mouth from a night ago because you're counting the innings, and that's the thing. You know, you end up not scoring here, then we're going to say it's 10 innings without a run.
And actually, going back to Thursday night,
right.
It's 14 2/3.
Forgot about that. They exploded that 1 inning early on in York. And so, yeah, for that reason, certainly, just even 1 run, it means something, playing small ball.
Bell batting 2-2, takes a breaking ball inside and low, and this is back-to-back hitters getting to a full count. Now, Webb is on a very short leash tonight. We've been told that. Just a couple of innings, about 40 pitches or so.
Oh, okay.
As he's trying to work his way back. He made, as I said, 11 appearances in the Arizona League for the Chicago Cubs at their rookie level. He pitched just 12 1/3 innings there. 3-2, the count to Bell. Here's the motion, and JB with a swing and a foul away. He'll stay alive with a 3-2 count. 3 chances to get Sanford home. Bell certainly wanting to hit the ball on the right side here.
Yes, he does.
He'll need a base hit to left or center to move the run across, but if he hits it to the right side, he can at least get Sanford to third. On the other hand, Webb knows that. He knows what Bell's intent is. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out, runner at second base. Here's the payoff pitch. Bell chases it. A swing and a miss. He is gone on strikes. First out of the inning, so he's unable to move Sanford to third base. Webb fooled him off speed in the dirt. Blake Galen to the plate. Galen down a little bit here the last few days to 293. That's still a pretty good season.
I'd say so myself.
22 home runs, 74 runs batted in. Home run hitters do tend to hit them in bunches, and Galen is in a bit of a drought. He doesn't have a home run now in his last 13 games. So I'm trying to stir the pot and
I think so.
put together the power of the microphone for him.
Yeah.
Runner at second base with 1 out. Here's the motion and the pitch. Galen shows bunt just to try and gauge Webb. He takes a strike at his 0-1. Catcher Ryan Castile waiting on deck.
Yeah, it's important to, I think, take this series. Be great if you can get a guy like Galen going, especially with that long ball, knowing the pronability, for lack of a better term, he has to be able to expose that out in right field. Got a short wall to take advantage of.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. It is low. A ball and a strike from Webb. That largely, probably a 2-seam fastball.
You also want to look at winning this series for the sake of, we got a pretty long road trip coming up, don't we?
8 games in 6 days to Long Island and Sugar Land. It's a long plate flight in between those two.
Oh.
From LaGuardia to Hobby on Friday morning.
Yeah, we're not back here.
0 dark 30.
Yeah, we're not back here for a week and a half.
1-1 pitch gets away from the catcher Blank, and Sanford will advance to third. And we'll see if we can get a ruling on that. Wild pitch would be my initial guess. It's a runner at third with 1 out. The question is whether or not it got to Blank on the fly, but it was also very low and outside. Galen bats 2-1. Sanford moving ahead. And if I have the opportunity where I can actually see my computer screen,
I was going to say, that's your challenge.
We'll pick up the ruling.
A little brighter than what it was a night ago.
Breaking ball is low, 3-1. We're in the booth on the far first base end. Therefore, we are nowhere near the official score.
Yeah, nope.
Hand signals don't work from down here.
No, they don't.
We have to get it online.
We need to get the string and Dixie cups.
3 balls and a strike to Galen. And the pitch cut on and fouled away for the 3rd straight batter. Webb has gone to 3 balls and 2 strikes.
It's not good for a pitch count. Good for the Barnstormers, though. I mean, you're going to get to see a lot of bullpen tonight, but the sooner you can do it, maybe that's the better. Everybody was in a groove last night for Somerset, and to be fair, they only used 2 bullpen pieces, so you'd have to think the majority is well rested.
Full count to Galen, 74 runs batted in on the year, and he swings and misses. So now 2 in a row have been retired. The Barnstormers have yet to hit a fair ball, and it's up to Ryan Castile to get the run home. Castile 310 with 10 home runs and 50 runs batted in. 1 infield single for him last night. Pass ball was the official ruling on Mike Blank. Well, Sanford heading to third on that. The Barnstormers haven't been able to get him home. Castile will give it a try. Here's the motion and the delivery. Breaking ball missing low. Ball 1 and no strikes. The Barnstormers have gotten into a run-scoring funk. But very often with this ball club, once they get 1, they'll get many. 1 ball, no strikes. Castile awaiting the pitch from Webb, and that is too close for ball 2. Trayvon Robinson, arguably the Barnstormers' hottest hitter right now, waits on deck. Hottest taking Paredes out of the equation since he is on the inactive list. We're still waiting on a resolution. It may come tomorrow.
That would be good news.
2 balls and no strikes to Castile. He swings and misses against Webb. It's 2-1.
I think the other thing you talk about with these guys being in somewhat of a scoring rut, and it happens across this league, affiliated, majors, everything is, it's just so unfortunate. It always seems to happen when you least need it to happen. Not that you ever want it to, but we're in the thick of a race here. Pitch outside 3-1, or rather 2 inside. But
yeah, 4th straight 3-ball count from Webb.
Yeah.
So we are not going to see him past 2 innings. Castile at 3 balls and a strike, looking for a pitch he can handle. One thing we've noticed about Webb, his pitches break a lot. Here's a 3-1. Castile will get the second walk of the inning. It leaves it up to Trayvon Robinson. The Barnstormers designated hitter has boosted his average to 295 on a 10-game hitting streak. Yep, we talk about Paredes, but realistically, this offense has started to struggle without him in there. And I think, and I thought this when we signed him, and I certainly have thought this over the past 2 to 3 weeks while he's been in there, he stabilizes this lineup. He makes everybody else better.
Well,
he's that key piece in the middle.
That's an important thing to have, and sometimes it's a new face that brings a fresh coat of paint to a ball club. I'm not saying the Barnstormers necessarily needed that, but it has helped.
Ball is outside to Robinson, 1-0. Trayvon with 2 of Lancaster's 5 hits last night. They were both singles. Up to 295 on the year. He has put together a very nice 10-game streak. He's hit 444 in this span with 8 runs banded in. He's got Sanford at third, Castile aboard at first, and a 1-0 count from Webb. The next delivery, swinging a foul ball back. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And we're seeing a lot of pitches fouled off. I feel like almost everybody who's had that at bat already for Lancaster has fouled them off. And a lot of that has to do with the breaking to his pitches, and there's a lot of movement late.
A tremendous amount of late movement. The Barnstormers haven't been able to gauge Webb. I'm not sure that Blank has always been able to gauge Webb.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure Webb completely has himself gauged. A late break by Castile. They didn't see that coming. He steals second. The focus will be on Robinson at 2 balls and a strike.
The question is, if you can get control, if Webb can settle in, I know he's not going to be given that opportunity because of a short leash tonight, but if he could settle in with his late movement stuff, he'd be a heck of a tough pitcher to face.
2 balls, 1 strike to Trayvon. Here's the motion and the pitch. Ball 3 is outside. Casey Hobson is on deck. And we have the 5th consecutive batter to get the 3 balls against Ryan Webb.
Yeah, all of a sudden a chance for us to get our 3rd walk of the inning. Last night, I believe it was Somerset that got 4 in an inning.
4 in the first inning. The Barnstormers heading at least toward their 3rd. Robinson can just look for a pitch to handle here.
That's what I would do, yeah.
Defense back with 2 outs. Here's the 3-1. Trayvon looks at ball 4. So the bases are loaded. Casey Hobson will step in. 3 walks, 2 strikeouts in the first inning. Hobson will want to be patient here. Again, what is the approach?
And they got a mound visit.
Do you take a strike? John Hutton will be going out to talk to Ryan Webb.
Just like last night, it's deja vu, but on the reverse side.
It's a double-edged sword here. Do you look for a fat fastball if Webb's simply trying to throw a strike? Do you want to sit on that and try for a quick 4-0 lead?
Yeah.
Or do you wait and force him to throw a strike?
And you have to make sure that your pitch selection is incredibly cautious, because we saw last night with the Barnstormers had a couple on. Anderson De La Rosa swung at the first pitch. It was a ground out and ended the inning. So Lancaster does not want to make the same mistake, especially because you look at what they've put together in this frame, and it feels like you have to be rewarded here. But if Hobson gets out in any fashion, all this effort is for nothing.
28 pitches thrown by Webb, the 6'9" closer of all time here in the Atlantic League. Big bad John Hutton heads back to the dugout. What a career he had. Initially as a Barnstormer, but he was here so short that hardly anybody remembers that. And then a long career in Somerset, then became the director of player procurement on the side, now the pitching coach as well for the Patriots. Bases are loaded. Here's Hobson, and Casey takes a strike. Webb getting it over. It's 0-1. 2-0-3 for Hobson with 8 home runs, 30 runs banded in, and he did take the first pitch. And it would have been a tough one. It was a very good first pitch from Webb. Ryan Webb ahead in the count. The Barnstormers trying to produce here in the first inning with the bases loaded and 2 outs. The motion And to KC, breaking ball is low. It is 1-1. That's pitch number 30.
One thing I do like about Hobson being up in this situation is his ability to foul back a lot of pitches, and he will waste a few to make sure that he gets the one he is sitting on, he is waiting on, he thinks he can hit the best.
1 ball, 1 strike to Hobson. The wind is blowing favorably for him. Webb's next pitch, breaking ball, and it's again low. 2 balls and a strike. It gives KC the advantage. The first 5 batters have gotten to at least a 3-ball count. If Hobson becomes the 6th, then Webb either has to perhaps throw a juicy one or risk giving up the first run of the ball game. 2 balls, 1 strike to Casey Hobson. Ryan Webb ready to go. Ball 3 up and away.
Yep.
So that's 6 hitters in a row to go to ball 3. 3 have gotten ball 4. The other 2 struck out swinging. 3 balls and a strike to Hobson. KC has to avoid the temptation here of getting jumpy.
You talk about Somerset earlier today when talking to their head coach about these 2-out RBIs that they're able to generate.
Here's a 3-1 pitch, swinging a foul ball back. Everybody's going to be taking off. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Another full count.
Now, if you're KC, you've got to really gauge ball versus strike. If it gets near the zone, you don't like it, you try to foul it off.
Yeah, I think
if it's not in the zone, make sure you don't swing. You'll get RBI number 31.
Yeah, one of the toughest counts to take other than an 0-2. I have to think the 3-2 is it's hard to take a pitch in a 3-2 count, I'd imagine.
Start the carousel. They're all taking off. There they go. 3-2. Swung on and lofted out to center field. Mike Francoso will settle underneath. The first ball put in play is the last out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. The Barnstormers strand 3 and will go to the second inning in a scoreless ball game.
Localflavor.com, local flavor, localflavor.com, local flavor.
Excuse me, are you saying localflavor.com?
Oh, yeah, it's where I save big bucks on all kinds of things. Home improvement projects, dining out, family fun, electronics, jewelry, clothing. I even bought my wife a fancy spa package for half price.
Half price?
Yep, you know all the deals you find in Clipper Magazine.
I love Clipper Magazine.
Well, they're all on localflavor.com too. And you can get them right on your phone thanks to localflavor.com's mobile app. Here, take a look.
Well, this app is amazing. Look at all these restaurants, amusement parks, car washes, fitness centers. This is worth sharing about.
Exactly. Localflavor.com online, the Local Flavor mobile app, and Clipper Magazine together. It's like a triple play.
Do the cheer again. I'm in.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Come on, everybody! Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Looking down along the left field line, Somerset already has activity in the bullpen.
Yep.
With Ryan Webb throwing 34 pitches in the bottom of the first inning. No fruit was born for the Barnstormers. They left the bases loaded on 3 walks, 6 batters in a row, getting to ball 3. Webb was able to do just enough to get out of the predicament. Now Nate Coronado leads off against Joe Gardner, and Coronado takes a strike. It is 0-1. 279 for Coronado, 8 home runs, 28 runs batted in. He hit the ball hard 3 times last night, only 1 base hit. Next offering is fouled away, and the count will level at 1 ball and 1 strike. Nothing in 2 to Coronado. Gardner comes back. Breaking ball looped into shallow left center field, falling for a base hit. Coronado hit that off the end of his bat, but he gets on to start off the second. Second inning in a row, the leadoff man has reached on a single against Gardner. Nothing tattooed. Now Ramon Flores, the right fielder, will come to the plate, 248 with 4 home runs and 20 runs banded in.
Yeah,
Barnstormers have given up their share of 0-2 base hits. Ross likes the pitchers attacking, and every once in a while you pay a price.
You do for that, yeah. If you want to stay in the strike zone, something's eventually going to their normal selves. They are small ball teams, so it makes for an interesting game. A lot of hits, but not necessarily a lot of runs. Almost like they're the perfect match for each other.
Roller foul up the third base line. Well, Somerset had the one bopper for the first half of the season. That was Kyle Roller, the man who hit the lights at Clipper Magazine Stadium before the All-Star break. But Roller decided to retire, and their big home run hitter right now is Coronado.
Who can do it, but, you know, the question is, are you trying to turn Nate Coronado into a guy who is a big-time power hitter? Is that Nate Coronado? I mean, he has 8 home runs this year, but, you know, I think him and Blake Gallon are a little different from one another in that regard.
Well, Coronado's an opposite field hitter. He did suit this ballpark pretty well. Ball 3 is outside to Flores, and Somerset trying to springboard off getting out of the bases loaded situation in the bottom of the first inning and get to Gardner here in the second. 3-1 is the count to Ramon Flores. Gardner comes back, and he gets a ball lashed past the shortstop Frias into left field, and now it's first and second with nobody out. Here in the second inning, Justin Trapp coming to the plate.
Give a little bit of credit to Nate Caldwell, the umpire there, because that one was whistling towards him.
Well, the end result would have been the same, except that Caldwell would have been knocked out.
He would have been hurt.
He'd be
player safety, umpire safety, Dave.
He'd be nursing a pretty bad bruise, if
I
nothing
think so.
else.
Yeah.
First and second, none down. Justin Trapp stepping in. The left fielder at 289 with 6 home runs.
And minus pitching, I think he's your player of the game last night.
There is a bunt back to the mound. Gardner's going to go to third, and the throw is late and low, and Bell can't pick it up. Trapp safe on the fielder's choice. He'll get a sacrifice, and now they are loaded with nobody out. And I think that was bad advice given to Gardner. I don't know that he had a play on Coronado.
No, I thought so too. I mean, I know you have no outs at this point with a guy on first and second, but right there, you got to go for Trapp. Sometimes you just have to take the easy out. Because when you know there's a hard play at third, you're guaranteeing the guy's going to get to first. You're taking a 50-50 on third, where that would have been an easy out to get Trapp off of first base.
It was a hurried throw that skipped to Bell, but I'm not sure it would have been there in time anyway.
I think it had to be a hurried throw, too.
Yeah, ball 1 is high and outside to Francoso, 1-0. Usually somebody's shouting to a pitcher where to go because he doesn't have the view of the bases.
Well, let's not forget, bases loaded now with nobody out.
Francoso stands in at ball 1. He's driven in 40 runs and only has 2 homers. He'll take ball 2 down low, 2 balls and no strikes.
And this is where now all of a sudden that out that the Barnstormers could have had on Trapp looks really important compared to a 2-0 count to a guy with everybody on a base and nobody out.
You try and keep 1 run from scoring, and you set up a potentially big inning, and that ball is wrapped to the gap out in right center field.
That might clear him.
They're scampering around. Coronado will score. Flores will score. Trapp is on his way home. The throw to the plate is offline. A 3-run double for Mike Francoso, and the early lead goes to the Somerset Patriots. 3 runs are across on the 2-base hit, and the Patriots jump ahead 3-0. Gardner did such a nice job getting out of the first, and now 2 doubles, a sacrifice fielder's choice. I'll verify that was the ruling. And now Francoso, we mentioned 2 home runs, 40 runs banded in. It's the way Somerset plays. They take advantage of opportunities.
Well, other than a grand slam, other than a ball leaving the yard, I don't know that you could have asked for a better hit if you're Brett Jody managing Somerset. Mike Francoso just takes a pitch, a 2-0 pitch, down and in on him, and he's able to get it off the hands in between center and right field. Ross Peoples using a mound visit, so all of a sudden both teams have used one here. And for Joe Gardner, like I said, go back to that out that you could have had at first. No matter what, 2 runs are scoring there, but every run counts. You're trying to manage your real estate here, And instead of it being 2-0, it is 3-0. Once again, back-to-back nights, the Pats getting a good start.
3-run double for Francoso. Mike Blank, the hitter, batting 157 with a home run, 4 driven in. Ball is inside, 1-0.
And you already mentioned now we're going over 15 innings since Lancaster's scored, so much like last night, next time you come up to the plate, you're down by a few. Does that affect you mentally?
You've got to try and cut this off. Gardner comes back to the plate, finds the range on Blank, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, this week has been one filled with big innings for the opposition. 1 ball, 1 strike to Blank. Francoso leads off second. Gardner to the plate, missing inside, 2 balls and a strike. So the Barnstormers, one of the reasons they really would want to win this game, Somerset's won 6 in a row in this season series. The Barnstormers were up 6-1. And the statistics are absolutely staggering when it comes to this season series. Ball 3 is inside, 3-1. The Barnstormers in the first 7 games against Somerset scored 51 runs, including 2 11s and a 13.
Yeah.
And they put one of those 11s on the board at Somerset, where the Patriots generally pitch extremely well. The last 6 games, only 8 runs. It's difficult to explain.
Well, the one
Bounce
thing,
or foul, 3-2.
Yeah, the one thing I will say, tonight they're going to have the chance, the Barnstormers that is, are going to have the chance to get really into Somerset's bullpen. I mean, they're, in all likelihood, what would you say here, 4 or 5 different arms?
Well, they're going to have somebody go long next, and I haven't been able to pick up the jersey number of the right-hander warming up in the pen.
He's watching the game right now, so he's looking at us.
Gardner steps off as Frias had raced in behind Francoso at second base.
So the idea with that is you have so many different arms that you can look at and eventually take advantage of. Now, the other side to that coin is you're seeing so many different guys that's more deception per each. Does that make it more hard, more difficult to hit?
Bouncer back toward the hill. Gardner underhands to first. Francoso never departed from second base, so he'll hang out there with 1 out in the inning. The batter will be Alfredo Rodriguez. He led off the game with a ground single up the middle.
Yeah.
Coronado led off the inning with a blue pit out to left. Ramon Flores singled in to left. Justin Trapp laid down a bunt back toward the hill. Gardner took the gamble to go to third, but the throw was late and bobbled. First pitch, strike into Rodriguez. It's 0-1. And then Francoso, early in the count, found the gap in right center field, and it was hit on such a line and in between Sanford and Gale, and it was evident for the runner at first base, Trapp, right from the get-go that he could come all the way around to score. Gardner drops it low, and Rodriguez, a 1 ball and 1 strike count. Decent crowd on hand. It's still filing in tonight. Fireworks to follow the game. 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 out. Gardner to the plate. There's a ground ball right through the legs of the base runner and out into center field. They are going to hold Francoso at third as Sanford fires home. Now Castile behind the trailing runner. And at second base, did they get Rodriguez or not? Now potentially a play on Francoso. And they'll tag him out. They did not get Rodriguez, but they do get the second out of the inning on a very complex play all the way through. With that, Rodriguez tried to take second. He did. Castile fired through. Once he did, then Francoso tried to score, and the Barnstormers were able to nab him in the rundown. So good luck, Joey Greer, trying to piece that one all back together.
Every time he scores, he gets this kind of stuff.
It started off 8-2. My guess is 4. I don't really remember whether it was Bortnick or Frias who handled the throw at second base.
I did the simple terms, RD for a rundown.
Inside and low. Bouncing back to Castile, underhanded toss to Gardner, safe at home. On the wild pitch is Rodriguez, and there's a 4th run in the inning on the wild pitch.
That was closer than I thought.
That's been a big issue this week, is run scoring on wild pitches. This one kicked back to Castile. The Barnstormers got out of a situation a week or so ago on a similar play. This kicked back to Ryan, but his shovel toss back to Gardner was high. If that throw is lower, Rodriguez is out at the plate. Now, 2 outs, base is empty, and a chopper to second. It'll be handled by Bortnick, and finally the Barnstormers are out of a troublesome inning. But before that, it is 4 runs on 4 hits. There were no Barnstormers errors, and nobody was left on base. Somerset again taking advantage of an opportunity, and now we'll go to the bottom of the second inning with the Patriots up 4-0.
Enjoy weekends with the Barnstormers all season long. Every Friday evening home game will feature a different giveaway ranging from t-shirts to beach towels to backpacks. On Saturdays, enjoy the best entertainment doubleheader there is with Barnstormers baseball followed by fireworks. Sundays are fun days at the ballpark. Get autographs from some of your favorite Barnstormers players and play catch on the field before the game. Once the game is over, it's a Domino's Pizza Kids Base Run. Call 717-509-HITS to order your tickets or go to LancasterBarnstormers.com. And we'll see you at the ballpark.
You can measure the sound of the Lexus LC500's naturally aspirated V8 engine and the quickness of its 10-speed transmission. But the only way to truly understand it is to experience it. Discover the feeling of the Lexus high-performance line at the Golden Opportunity Sales Event with exceptional offers on our most exhilarating models, now until September 4th. See Bobby Rahal Lexus in Mechanicsburg. Click the banner to discover more.
Well, Dave, I want to know now, with the Barnstormers down 4-0 in the bottom half of the second inning, do you look back at the first where you had the bases loaded and think what could have been?
Well, you're always going to do that. Now, Ryan Webb obviously did not have the control that he would like to see or control that he's had in the past. He was fairly wild. He threw at least 3 balls to every bat. You total it up, he threw 21 balls in that inning, and he just snuck out of there. Hobson hit that ball pretty well with the bases loaded, just to the wrong part of the ballpark. So now the Barnstormers do get into the Somerset pen, and you just have to catch one guy off. And first guy out there is right-hander Nate Rowe, formerly of the New Britain Bees. He has been at Somerset most of the season. Rowe is from Plainfield, New Jersey, so pitching pretty much at home. He is 6'2", 205 pounds, and 28 years of age. The Barnstormers once again have to work their way back from an early big inning. They're trailing 4-0. Vladimir Frias leading off here in the second.
Now, what'll be interesting to see, though, is if they can do, at least from the pitching side, what they did last night and limit Somerset's offense to just 1 inning.
Here's the delivery to Frias. It is upstairs for a ball, 1-0. Vladimir at 294 with 6 home runs, 32 runs batted in. The wind-up, the pitch, nubbed foul up the first base side. It is 1-1 on Frias. Vladimir has hit 3 of his 6 home runs this year against Somerset, including one at TD Bank Park, which early in the year was a rocket to right field.
Yeah.
That startled even me. Frias has hit several home runs here at Clipper Magazine Stadium. That ball he hit at Somerset, I think, was the longest one he has hit in the Lancaster uniform. There's a high fly ball to dead center field.
Is that the highest one he's hit right there?
Francoso goes back and in front of the track makes the catch. 1 away, and Tyler Bortnick, the second baseman, checks in. Bortnick hitting 188. Tyler reached base twice last night. He had a single and a walk, and arguably had the best night at the plate for the Barnstormers, not only reaching base twice, but his 2 outs were hit pretty well also. A liner to center and a fly ball to right.
Yeah, I said it last night. If there's anybody who could use a night like that, some guys are slumping, sure, but Tyler Bortnick certainly could.
1 out, nobody on base. Rowe is high with his fastball, 1-0.
And Bortnick in the 2-hole last night dropped down to 9, or excuse me, the 8-hole today, which we've often seen him. He's either batting second or he's batting 8th or 9th.
Yeah. Middle infielder, scrappy type hitter, occasional power.
And he usually will work your pitches. He'll definitely see a few at the plate, so I
Yeah.
rarely see Bortnick swing at the first pitch.
Rowe behind to the hitter. Rico Noel waits on deck. 2 balls, no strikes. The wind and the offering. Ball 3 is too close. Bortnick a chance to work his way on with a free pass. He has drawn 46 on the year. Darian Sanford third with 45. Blake Galen, a club leader, at 61. A strike is delivered by Rowe. 3-1 from the right-hander.
And so now you have to think, as you mentioned, Rowe's probably the long arm. Maybe 3 innings of work.
Here's the delivery. Tapped foul at the plate. Guess what we've got? Another 3-2 count.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of them.
Oh, yeah, we have. On the Barnstormers end of things, certainly.
Every Barnstormer hitter but Frias has gone to ball 3. Well, you look at Rowe's numbers. He's been in 40 games. He has made 2 starts. He's worked 49 2/3 innings.
Okay, so he can definitely go multiple.
3 or 4. Bortnick pops this up, first base side. Boyd coming over for a glance, but that's into the seats. And Tyler extends his at-bat a little bit deeper.
I can't help but see the doubleheader fireworks night that they're promoting on the board out in right field for a second there. It's changed now, but it was September 9th. I want to remind fans, that's not the only doubleheader they'll have a chance to see here.
We've got 3 on the next homestand. The 5th against the Patriots. Day-night doubleheader on the 8th.
Yep.
Against
So that is
Southern
split
Maryland.
admission.
That's a split admission.
Okay.
And then a single admission doubleheader, 2 7-inning games on the 9th. We did get a waiver from the league. The 2 games on the 8th will both be 7 innings.
Okay.
3-2 to Tyler Bortnick. That is crushed down the left field line, but he hooked it foul. Still 3 balls and 2 strikes. That's plagued Tyler from time to time this year, as it has to some degree Casey Hobson.
Well, you see
when they hit it hard, they're out in front.
Yeah, you see a guy who hits a ball well. Yeah, there's good contact there. That's loud contact, what we call it, but it goes foul, and you mentioned it just plagues a hitter.
Payoff again due to Bortnick. Rowe into his windup. The pitch almost hit him. It didn't.
He's known to be plunked a few times
Yeah,
this year, too.
he's taken it 15 times this year. He's too short of the franchise record. Well, the Barnstormers with another base runner. And Rico Noel stepping in. 300 for Rico with a home run and 23 knocked in.
I guess they're going to try and do what they did in the first and just build up some stuff on the base paths and see if they can get anything from there. Capitalization, that's the number one thing this team needs to do, though.
And they don't need it all back right now, but they do need to get in the game. They need a run or 2 somewhere here in the early innings. Bortnick leads off first, and Rico takes ball 1 off the outside corner.
Well, tonight it was the second, last night it was the first, but it's still the same. Early inning, and Somerset gets a lot of runs. That gives you a lot of time still in this game. It's not like this 4-run inning is coming in the 7th or 8th inning for Somerset. Then you're down to less real estate. They have time to work.
1-0. Noel looks at a second ball off the outside corner. Somerset's pitching, giving the Barnstormers the opportunity. And Lancaster, Bortnick, and certainly Rico, these first 2 pitches is displaying a very good eye. They've both been close. And Noel has the edge, 2-0. Defense completely fanned out against the Barnstormer left fielder. Third baseman Coronado about a step ahead of the bag. Throw goes to first, and diving back in is Bortnick. Tyler has 15 stolen bases on the year. Earlier tonight, Darian Sanford stole his 63rd and the club's 198th. 2-0 to Noel. Rowe delivers. That is swung on and missed. And we get to 2-1. runner held by Jace Boyd over at first. 2-1. The throw will go to first base, and Bortnick is back in standing. Troy Steffi coaching there. Ross Peoples along the lines at third. Sun is just about down. There are a few streaks of sunlight out on the field behind the shortstop Rodriguez as it angles in through the Fulton Bank gate out in left field underneath the video board. Strike two, taken at the letters. Rowe has worked back into it against Noel. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Now, typically later in the season, do we see the sun go down a little earlier, I take?
Of course.
All right.
Of course. By the end of the season, it'll be down just after game time.
Okay. I was trying to think in retrospect to the timing of the game.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Throw again to first base. This time Bortnick forced to scramble. And by the way, for the last 2 home series, we'll be back over in the middle booth.
Okay, so we're
then we're sheltered even more.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, because I was going to say, I feel like the average in the summers, it's down by the end of the third.
Yeah, a lot of nights about the fourth.
Yeah, that's
2
true
balls
too.
and 2 strikes to Noel. Rowe comes set. Here's the pitch. Fouled straight back toward us. The net caught it, saving our very lives.
Yes, I can't remember what game it was, although I know I did the 5th inning, so we were already at the point where I was doing play-by-play a little, but I did the 5th inning, the top half with the sun up still, so in some cases half the game is like this.
These 6:30 starts, when you get into June and July, sometimes you're into the 6th.
Yeah.
2 balls and 2 strikes that count to Noel. Bortnick leading off first once again. He's going to take off, and Noel spoils a pitch toward the outside corner. He lunged after it, not taking any chances. That was meant to be a hit and run. Noel was trying to get the ball into right field.
Yeah, just do whatever you can. At least advance the runner here. I mean, there's already 1 down, so ideally you both have to be on base. Bortnick continuing and Noel getting there.
And he swung to protect the runner. That would have been an awfully tough throw for Blank.
It would have, yeah. So I like that. Challenging the other staff here. And Blank seems like he can throw. I wouldn't put his arm on the level of someone like De La Rosa, though.
Here's a 2-2 offering. Noel drives this out the left field, fading back a couple of steps as trap, but he'll make the catch. Though it's been a peculiar night for the Barnstormers. 4 walks. They have actually 2 stolen bases, 199. I forgot Castile had one as well in that opening inning before glancing down at my scorecard.
Yeah.
And 3 flyouts and 2 strikeouts. Darian Sanford stepping in. Josh Bell in the on-deck circle. The Barnstormers have seen a lot of pitches out of the right hand of Nate Rowe as well. They just haven't been able to square anything up in the appropriate circumstances.
Yeah, not the amount they saw of Webb, but
I mean, they're not going down easily here.
No, they're fighting. I mean, you talked about Joe Gardner being a battler on the mound. These guys are taking the pitches at the plate. And here's the thing. When you're walking, sometimes that's by accident. I mean, you're not going to swing at a pitch if it's well out the zone. Got to just take what the pitchers give you. 2
outs. Bortnick, the runner at first base. He gets another throw from Rowe. Somerset seriously suspecting the Barnstormers are up to something.
Yeah.
And they may very well be. Ross Peoples known to be an aggressive manager. 2 outs. Sanford at the plate. Bortnick the runner. And there's another throw to first base.
Maybe the sun will be down by the end of this inning. If it keeps up like this, Sanford will have a long at bat.
Two outs. Bortnick again taking the lead. He's going to go. The pitch is low. The throw by Blank is very far behind the play. By that time, Bortnick had Rowe completely red. He knew he was going to the plate and felt free to take off. That's stolen base number 200 for the Barnstormers on the season. 3 here tonight, but while it grabs you an extra base, it doesn't score the run. The Barnstormers still need Darian Sanford to be able to produce here. You had to figure Bortnick was going to go. The circumstances called for it. With Sanford at the plate, largely you need to have the runner in scoring position for Darian to pick it up. And if he gets thrown out, Sanford gets to lead off the next inning where you really like having him. 0-1 pitch. Finds its way a little bit wide. It is 1-1 now to Darien. Still 4-0 Somerset, bottom half of the second inning. Well, the Barnstormers tonight, 4 walks, 3 stolen bases. There's also been a passed ball charged a blank in the middle of all of this, which the effects were wiped out by the subsequent walks. That is well outside. Sanford bats 2-1. The Barnstormers have seen a crazy number of pitches out of the strike zone.
Yeah, given that we're
in
all,
the first 2 innings.
I was just about to say, given we're only in the second, you're right. But that goes back to what I'm saying, Dave. I mean, you can't tell me Sanford's going to swing at a pitch well outside the zone like that. Why make him? He's going to take the pitch and get a walk, but eventually there has to be a hit to bring someone in.
Inside 3-1. Well, that is by my count, 31st pitch out of the strike zone thrown by Somerset tonight. When the Patriots are involved, that's generally a game, not an inning and 2/3. Sanford bats 3-1. Bortnick the runner at second with 2 gone. And the pitch, Sanford goes for it, fouls it away. So here's Darien again at 3-2. He's lived there all week. He wants a base hit here. 3 balls, 2 strikes, the riding count. Bortnick leading off second base. He takes off for third. The payoff pitch is fouled away. Well, it's not automatic for the runner to be going. He's not forced off of second, but Tyler wanted to have the head start. He might have even been able to score there on an infield base hit. I like that move. Of course, Tyler Bortnick, the guy who scored all the way from first on a Ryan Castile single to produce a win against York earlier in the year, earlier in this half, in fact. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Sanford. And the pitch is low. Another walk. It's the 5th picked up by the Barnstormers. Rowe has thrown 2. And he is now up to 25 pitches in this half an inning.
Yeah, and you have some stretching going on in Somerset's bullpen. Nothing more, but this is where, in some ways, the walks are definitely, I mean, they're obviously helpful, but they might help the Barnstormers even more to the point of digging into Somerset's bullpen.
Down the road, and you're just hoping that you have one guy have an off night and you can start stringing together some base hits. Here is Bell, and Josh goes after the first pitch, popping it up behind the pitcher's mound. The shortstop, Rodriguez, calling for it and making the catch for the final out. That'll do in the Barnstormers here in the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. We'll go to the third inning. It is still 4-0 Patriots.
Most unique beer fest is coming to Clipper Magazine Stadium on Sunday, September 9th during the Barnstormers game against the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. That afternoon, samples from over 20 local breweries will be made available throughout the right field hospitality areas. Souvenir pint and sample glasses and a Broken Bat hat will go to everyone buying a ticket. VIP tickets are available for early entry and limited releases. For more information, go to www.lancasterbarnstormers.com.
So, John, what should the Steelers' focus be this season?
Steelers fast play for sure.
As opposed to what?
I'm talking Steelers fast play tickets from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Playing's faster than our wide receiver running a slant.
Faster than our defense blitzing the QB?
Oh, yeah. The game's got progressive top prizes, plus second chance drawings for Steelers game tickets, meet and greets, autographed merchandise, and more.
Wow. I'm going to get mine fast.
Fast Play. Play fast, win instantly. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day.
Andy Chavez will get things underway in the third for the Somerset Patriots. He grounded out the Frias back in the first inning. Joe Gardner into his motion, and ball one misses inside and low. The Barnstormers tonight have seen 60 pitches, more than half of them out of the zone. They have drawn 5 walks, but have yet to pick up a base hit. They also have not hit a ground ball. A little bit low to Chavez, now 2-0 from Gardner, the victim of a 4-run second inning. 2-0 pitch, scorched up the middle, and a base hit for Chavez, leading off here in the third inning. 6 hits now for Somerset tonight. Jace Boyd, the first baseman, will come to the plate. Gardner in need of a double play ball. Infield will set up looking for it. Bell, Frias, Bortnick, and Hobson. Here's the pitch, and Boyd takes ball one inside. It's 1-0.
Well, hey, we've got still got some positives. The sun is being shaded now. Looks like we may be in the clear for the rest of the night.
1-0 delivery. Ground ball, third base, handled by Bell. He'll go to Bortnick, one. Throw back to first, and they turn the double play. 5-4 to 3. It wasn't totally smooth, but it got the job done.
Hey,
both
there's
throws
another
were
positive.
A little bit low. Well, the Barnstormers turn yet another double play. That one performed nicely. Started by Bell. 2 outs. Nate Coronado will be the hitter. Coronado single to start the 4-run second inning. Have a flare off the end of the bat out the left field. 2 outs, bases clear in the third inning. First pitch strike to Coronado. It's 0-1. Gardner gets a lot of double plays just by the nature of his beast. Remember, against the Road Warriors, that game he won a couple of starts ago, he got one in each of the first 4 innings.
Yeah.
Ground ball foul, and to Nate Coronado, 2 quick strikes here in the third inning.
Yeah, so you've already got 2 outs and now an 0-2 count. Chance to get a nice little pick-me-up here in the third for Joey. I'll pause for time here before resetting.
0-2, the wind and the pitch dealt inside and low.
Yeah, looked close.
Ball 1, 2 strikes.
One and two.
The delivery, ground ball, busted bat. There to snuff it out is Hobson. He'll feed Gardner. 3-1 on the conversion. Another nice play to the backhand side by Casey Hobson. No runs, a hit, no errors, nobody left. Gardner with a solid third inning, and now the Barnstormers need to go on the attack. They trail 4-0.
You can measure the exceptional torque of the Lexus LX and the capability of its full-time four-wheel drive. But the only way to truly understand it is to experience it. Discover the feeling of the Lexus line of SUVs at the Golden Opportunity Sales Event with exceptional offers on our most capable models. Now until September 4th. See Bobby Rahal Lexus in Mechanicsburg. Click the banner to discover more.
Celebrate the history of our national pastime at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown. See priceless treasures that will bring your baseball memories to life. Find stories that will inspire and surprise. Cooperstown is where you, your family, and your friends can relive baseball's greatest moments and honor the all-time greats of the game. See all that the Hall of Fame and Museum has to offer and plan your family visit today at baseballhall.org.
Blake Galen, Ryan Castile, and Trayvon Robinson will step to the plate in the lower half of the third. The Barnstormers still looking to make up a 4-run deficit here. All the runs coming in the top of the second inning. So the story is somewhat similar to last night, albeit a different inning. Where it's different is all the walks that the Barnstormers are drawing tonight. Elsewhere, Southern Maryland and York are squared at 1 in the bottom of the fourth. 35 minutes to our west. Sugar Land up 1-0 over New Britain in the bottom of the second, and Long Island leading the Road Warriors 4-0 in the bottom half of inning 4. Blake Galen steps in. He went down swinging against Webb back in the first inning, facing Nate Rowe here in the third. Breaking ball dances inside and low, ball 1.
And speaking of Sugar Land, you got that series coming up here before you know it. It'll be here 4 games down in Texas again.
A week ahead of us. Here's the 1-0. Galen looks at a strike, and it's 1-1.
Now that's where
you hate giving up a home game to Sugar Land, knowing how good that team is when they're in their own yard. But that was forced by Mother Nature.
Well, what I also concern myself about is where this team might be playing before then, meaning, there's a little bit of struggles here that we're seeing. The offense is kind of absent right now for the time being. They're going to pick it up. You hope they find it sooner than later.
Here's the 2-1. Galen with a chip shot out towards center field. Jogging in, Francoso. He's been kept busy. That is his third putout. 1 away. Ryan Castile to the plate. He drew a walk and stole second base back in the first inning. Snuck over there. His third steal of the season. 5 walks, 3 stolen bases.
Yeah.
Couple of strikeouts, everything else a fly ball.
I'm just realizing as the outs recorded by Francoso, we still haven't seen – Sanford didn't make any last night so far tonight. I don't know why that intrigues me so much, but it does. So at least on this homestand, 12 innings in which Darian hasn't had to make a play. I don't know. I just think for center fielders, you're so used to seeing them busy.
Breaking ball for a strike to Castile. It is 0-1. Rowe back to the plate. Castile swings and cracks a ball to deep left center field. Away back goes Francoso on the track in the fat part of the ballpark. He makes the catch for out number 2. Castile denied by the dimensions of Clipper Magazine Stadium. On the flip side, he's had a couple created by the dimensions of this ballpark, but he'd like to have that one too.
Yeah, he certainly would. Shorter part of the field.
Yeah, it's a home run virtually anywhere else.
It really is.
Trayvon Robinson, the DH, will step in. Trayvon with a walk back in the first inning, not good enough to extend his hitting streak. The Barnstormers without a hit in the game tonight. 4 putouts now for Mike Francoso out in center field. That one was hit away.
Sun's down. Maybe it makes a difference. At this point, we're looking for anything. You mentioned that they were talking about rally caps, and why not have a rally cap tonight using the neon green? Well, how about the sun being down? Maybe there's a couple hits that come out of that.
Breaking ball reaches the outside corner for a strike. 0-1. Rowe is back. That is too close to Trayvon. Ball 1, strike 1.
We always talk about how weird slumps can be. What I think is often interesting is how they're created. How does this happen that you get into a funk?
It's if you could answer that question, you could make yourself a fortune in this business. 1-1. Robinson will take a second strike on the inside corner. It's 1-2.
So that's one part of the analytics we haven't found yet.
I don't think anybody has. One ball and 2 strikes to Robinson. Rowe goes back to work. Here's the wind and the delivery. Trayvon has to get his feet out of the way quickly. Breaking ball bit down and in. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the Barnstormers' designated hitter. Robinson, not that he wants to be the DH every night, but he does flourish in the role. Not everybody can do it, but Trayvon has shown an ability. He's hitting .405 as the DH. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and the pitch is looped out to shallow left field. Scooting back is Coronado. He'll make the play just inside fair territory. A 1-2-3 inning for Nate Rowe in the bottom of the third, and at the end of 3, still 4-0 Somerset.
Like craft beers, local wines? Well, the best place to be in Lancaster then is Clipper Magazine Stadium. That's right, all new for 2018 is the Broken Bat deck down the right field line. The Broken Bat will feature more than 20 local craft breweries and product from 2 local wineries. If something with a little more kick is your adult beverage of choice, a local distillery is part of the Broken Bat as well. Food will be sold off a pub-style menu, so get together, hang out with your friends, make some new ones, and enjoy a night of craft beer sampling along with a Barnstormers game.
You're totally probably safe to ride on your spare for what, 6, maybe 9 months?
Don't trust the wrong advice. Get the right tires at the right price right away. It's what we've been doing at Jack Williams Tire right here in Pennsylvania since our family started this business back in 1929. Because doing things the right way is just the Williams way. Get the right tires right now at jackwilliams.com.
4 runs on 6 hits with no errors and 1 left for Somerset. The Barnstormers, meanwhile, have no runs, no hits, no errors, but 5 runners left on base. A lot of walks, but unable to capitalize on those chances so far. Here's Ramon Flores leading off the 4th inning. He singled and scored in the 4-run second. Joe Gardner into his motion. First pitch, good for a strike. It is 0-1. Gardner has stayed away from the base on balls. He has 1 strikeout. That was on Jace Boyd back in the 1st inning. And the next pitch to Flores forces him back off the plate. The count goes to 1-1.
Yeah, with Flores already having a single, he's now batting north of 350 over the last 5 games. 8 runs batted in over that time as well.
Ball 2 is inside, 2-1.
So maybe we just caught Somerset at the wrong time. Maybe they're heating up at the wrong time for us.
They had just dropped 2 out of 3 against Sugar Land, and overall 7 of 10
I hate
against
to say
the
it.
Skeeters. Ball 3 is low, 3-1.
You look at the Skeeters, though. I mean, who hasn't? That team is so good.
The answer to that, New Britain, with a 7-2 win last night. Now Sugar Land is winning tonight. That is ball 4. Flores is on with the leadoff walk. First issued by Gardner tonight.
I'd like to know what team does the best in Sugar Land this season, other than the Skeeters, of course. I mean, what visiting team?
The answer to that pretty much is nobody.
Yeah.
The Road Warriors took 2 out of 14.
Oh.
It may have been actually more than that. I'd have to look.
Maybe that's the league average. I mean, Constellation Field, what a home advantage for that ball club.
First pitch to Trapp is high. Castile looking for a throw behind Flores.
To be fair, though, the Barnstormers do own 40 wins at home.
Well, you have to kind of factor the Road Warriors into the equation. They're always on the road. And they've won about a quarter of their games this year, give or take.
Yeah, I stand corrected, by the way. We have 39 wins at home.
Ball 2 is high. Gardner, all of a sudden, has missed with 6 straight. He threw a beautiful first pitch strike to Flores. Now, after walking him on the next 4, it's 2-0 to Trapp. Mike Francoso is on deck. He's already driven in 3 runs. And a Trapp popped up foul out of play. It's 2-1.
Yeah, well, the big thing, though, we talked about last night and the Barnstormers were able to do is from this side of the game, you have to limit the opposition's run total. Now, Somerset generated 4. Okay, been there, done that. It's over with. But now it's keeping them off the scoreboard any more in this game.
2 balls and a strike. Runs wide.
If Joe Gardner can do that, he's giving his team, he's doing everything he can from the pitching side to give these bats, give this team every opportunity to come back. 4 runs is certainly not easy to do. We've seen Somerset's pitching is pretty darn good. Somebody's up in the bullpen again. I haven't seen them throw yet.
3-1, ground ball to third, backhanded play, Bell. He'll go to second, Bortnick back to first, and they've got another one. This one, they had less room for error. The ball was hit more slowly, and the Barnstormers turned it beautifully. 2 outs. Anybody who loves shrimp in this area, Joe Gardner, he's your best friend. He gets a lot of double plays. So I'll send my obligatory text to Kristen.
Our Bang Bang Shrimp.
Who oversees the sponsorship with Bonefish Grill.
There we go.
And the Bang Bang Shrimp promotion on the Bang Bang double play. 2 outs. Mike Francoso stepping in now with the bases empty. First pitch strike to him. It is 0-1. I mean, Gardner does get a lot of double plays.
Well, you mentioned
he thrives on them, and
when you're a ground ball specialist.
Yep,
that helps.
Breaking ball is low on Francoso. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Helps keeping you in the game too. Let's not forget we sort of were remiss to talk about the starting pitchers' struggles this week. So, I mean, we'll
Chopper toward first. That's going to trickle fair, and
fair.
An easy play for Hobson. This inning started off in a bad direction.
Yep.
A walk and a 3-1 count to Trap. One pitch changes the entire complexion of the inning, and Gardner's out of it on 3 batters. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. Bottom of the 4th comes up. It's still 4-0 Somerset.
You can measure the power of the Lexus LS500's twin-turbocharged engine, the responsiveness of its adaptive variable suspension, and the clarity of its available 23-speaker audio system. But the only way to truly understand it is to experience it. Discover the feeling only a Lexus can bring at the Golden Opportunity Sales Event, with exceptional offers on our most luxurious models, now until September 4th. See Bobby Rahal Lexus in Mechanicsburg. Click the banner to discover more.
So, John, what should the Eagles' focus be this season?
Eagles fast play for sure.
As opposed to what?
I'm talking Eagles fast play tickets from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Playing's faster than our wide receiver running a slant.
Faster than our defense blitzing the QB?
Oh, yeah. The game's got progressive top prizes, plus second chance drawings for Eagles game tickets, meet and greets, autographed merchandise, and more.
Wow. I'm going to get mine fast.
Fast Play. Play fast, win instantly. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day.
On the hill for the 4th inning for Somerset is right-hander Dustin Mollican out of Tempe, Arizona. He is 34 years of age and just recently turned 34. His birthday was Tuesday. 6'4", 230-pounder is Mollican. Right-hander taking over for Nate Rowe, who walked 2 batters, didn't strike out anybody, didn't allow any base hits over his 2 scoreless innings. 4 runs on 6 hits. Now for Somerset, the Barnstormers look for their first hit. Casey Hobson will lead off. Hobson batted with the bases loaded, had a 3-2 count back in the 1st inning, and launched a fly ball to center field. Hit maybe 330 to 350 feet out there, but an easy play for Francoso, who has been incredibly busy here tonight. 4 putouts out in center.
Yeah, last night we saw Trap. This time it's Francoso. I don't know that Francoso gets the flash that we saw Trap show last night.
First pitch to Hobson. Foul ball back to the screen. It is no balls and a strike. Mollican on the season, 3-2 with a 3.8 ERA, 37th appearance for him. Barnstormers hoping to be able to jump on one of the succession of Somerset relievers they're going to see out here tonight. Now to Hobson. Strike 2, taken at the knees. Casey will walk that one off for a second. Just by his body language, he gave the impression he thought that pitch was low.
I think so.
No balls, 2 strikes. Body language can be misread.
Yes.
Sometimes it's all we have to go by up here. 0-2, and a fastball is wide. Ball 1 and 2 strikes. I'm not sure that we necessarily do know what is said on the field.
Man, look at this.
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
We're in the 4th inning. We are living large, my friend.
Yeah, we are. This is like perfect for one of those don't get mad, get glad kind of moments.
1-2 pitch. Hobson pops it up. Overcomes the catcher, and he is late getting there. Blank didn't see it off the bat. Coronado playing in a shift against Hobson had no shot to get to that pop-up that dropped nearly into the Somerset on deck circle, and Blank just didn't see it until it was too late. Hobson, somewhat fortunate to be alive at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nate Coronado could not have gotten there if the ball had been twice as high, as he's basically playing shortstop.
Yeah.
The shift is on against KC. You'd love to see him hit a ground ball down the third base line here. Ball 2 is inside and low, 2-2.
I think it's so amazing how the shift just changed power hitters. Like, you look over time at how many guys were so good, and then the shift came in and what it did to their careers. I think with the Phillies, of course, Ryan Howard.
Foul ball back, still 2-2. In this league, Josh Presley. Everybody always shifted on him when he was with Somerset, and then he went to Sugarland. Everybody started playing the same way. That's not a left-handed hitter's ballpark. Presley completely changed his approach. He became a great opposite field power hitter with the Skeeters. 2-2 is bounced home, and drum roll, please. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Really. Well, that adds to pace of play, certainly, and the amount of game time we'll see is just because you end up having all these high-pitch counts. So now who is it? Is Frias the only guy that hasn't seen it still?
Here's the payoff, and Hobson gets a leadoff walk. An 8-pitch walk nonetheless. The Barnstormers draw their 6th. The season high is 8. And we're nobody out into the 4th inning. Vladimir Frias will come to the plate. He did swing a little bit earlier.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah,
so
everybody has seen at least 1 3-ball count back
Noel
to the point,
did
except
too?
for Vlad.
Okay.
Noel was up there. Maybe it was only 2-2 on him.
That one I'm trying to think. Obviously, Bortnick walked, so.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's something.
We're running extremely deep counts. The Barnstormers have sent 15 men to the plate tonight. They have seen 79 pitches. Frias stands in with Hobson at first, nobody out.
And to remind everybody, they've seen 79 pitches, and we're not even through 4 full innings.
Frias with a pop-up foul out of play.
There was 80.
No balls and 1 strike the count.
So you're doing a quick math, averaging your 20 pitches per inning that you're getting to look at. But I think, I'm not sure what side you're on here, but it's like a lot of these you can't really do anything with, right? I mean, they're so far out or they're low in the ground, you have to take them.
0-1 to Frias. Here's the next offering. Looped out the left, slicing away from Trapp. He's not going to get there. It's in for a base hit. Hobson will stop at second. The Barnstormers with their first knock in the game, and a big opportunity builds here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. First and second, nobody out. Tyler Bortnick coming to the plate. Bortnick walked back in the 2nd inning.
This is the advantage when you get to see so many different bullpen pieces and so many different arms. Already Somerset on their 3rd in this game. And like you mentioned earlier, sometimes it just takes getting to one of those. Maybe this is the Barnstormers' chance to do so.
Bortnick digging in. Hobson the runner at second. Frias aboard at first. And Somerset at least suspecting that Bortnick may be up there to bunt. Coronado playing for it. He's up on the grass over at third. Here's the pitch by Mollican. Bortnick swings away and drives a foul down to the deck and foul territory, just clearing section 1 down the right field line. 0-1 on Bortnick. The Barnstormers appear to be playing for the big inning.
That's similar to the pitch that Bortnick hit earlier, except it was the other side and left, just barely going foul, but the ball is well hit.
Lancaster looking to strike here in the bottom of the 4th inning. A walk and a single starting it off. 0-1, the count to Bortnick, the set, the pitch. Tyler will take a ball upstairs. It is 1-1. Rico Noel, the left fielder on deck. Then you turn the lineup over to Darian Sanford.
Yep.
You might as well start him at 3 balls and 2 strikes the way things are going.
Yeah.
He's been there so many times this week, both times tonight. Here's the 1-1 to Bortnick. Little chip shot behind second base. That'll be played by Massey. That's a huge first out for Dustin Mollican. Rico Noel will come to the plate. He flied to left back in the 2nd inning. Barnstormers have got to come up with a big hit here.
Well, I was going to say, when you have a guy on 1st and 2nd and no outs to start the inning, you feel like you have to at least get one of these runs.
When you're down by 4, you just you want to get both of these guys home.
And let's just be reminiscent of the idea of where we are in this game. We're down by 4, but in the 4th inning. So even if it's just one run, maybe that's what gets the wheel turning down the road.
Absolutely. As first and second with one out, Noel digs in. He hit the ball well back in the second, but right at the left fielder trap. First and second with one man gone. Here's the set by Mulligan, the pitch, and that forces Rico to skedaddle out of the batter's box.
That's the third guy that's almost been hit by the Barnstormers here. Robinson, Bortnick, and now Noel.
1-0.
You could almost swear it grazes the jersey.
Rico gets hit from time to time. So does Vladimir. Ball 1-0. Hobson leads off second. Frias off first. And the delivery is low and outside. Noel, for the second straight trip, gets at least a 2-0. Darian Sanford, the man on deck. We're setting this all up for a Sanford grand slam, his first Barnstormers home run.
Hey, he hit one decent last night.
That would make my night.
That would be something to talk about.
2-0.
That would be the headline.
Mulligan ready to go to Noel. Skied to shallow right field over toward the line. Flores is there for the catch. That is out number 2. And now it's all up to Darian. Josh Bell in the on-deck circle. Every defensive play made by the Patriots in this game has been in the air.
Yeah.
So it seems that the Patriots have a particular game plan on the mound, how to attack the Barnstormers in this game tonight. That is the 9th consecutive out on some type of a fly ball. There have been 3 in the infield, and Castile cranking one that Francoso got to on the warning track about 400 feet from home for the second out last inning. It's up to Sanford here, first and second with 2 away. To Darian, that's punched toward the middle and down for a base hit. Hobson is going to be sent. Francoso will fire home. The ball is juggled by the catcher blank on the hop. Everybody else takes an extra base, and it's 4-1. Darian Sanford coming through with an RBI single.
And that was a heck of a throw by Francoso. He had, in my opinion, had Hobson dead to right, but it was just a lucky bounce, maybe something blank couldn't fully grasp it. But no matter what, the drought is over. What was that, 17, 18 innings?
Yeah, it was. Look at 3 2/3 tonight. That made it 18 1/3, 55 outs since the Barnstormers' last run. They're on the board. Josh Bell has runners at second and third. More damage could be done.
Yes.
Mulligan's pitch, and Bell takes a strike over at the knees. It is 0-1. Lancaster's on the board. Now you're hungry for a bit more.
Yes, you are. Try to get into this a little bit.
Josh Bell has gone down swinging, and he's popped to short. Frias is at third, Sanford at second. Bell with a foul ball back out of play. It's 0-2. Blake Galen, the on-deck batter. Sanford driving in his 27th run of the season. A base hit here. You could make it 4-3 easily with Sanford, the runner at second base. 0-2. And to Bell, swung on and cracked the right field. Over on it goes Flores. He will run it down and make the catch for the final out. Josh didn't get all of it. If he had hooked it a little bit more, it would have had a chance to score 2 runs. But another out, oddly, on a fly ball.
Yep.
1 run does score in the inning on 2 hits with no errors, 1 left. Andrew will take you, or 2 left rather. Andrew will take you through the 5th inning. It is 4-1 Somerset.
Localflavor.com, local flavor, localflavor.com, local flavor.
Excuse me, are you saying localflavor.com?
Oh, yeah, it's where I save big bucks on all kinds of things. Home improvement projects, dining out, family fun, electronics, jewelry, clothing. I even bought my wife a fancy spa package for half price.
Half price?
Yep, you know all the deals you find in Clipper Magazine.
I love Clipper Magazine.
Well, they're all on localflavor.com too. And you can get them right on your phone thanks to localflavor.com's mobile app. Here, take a look.
Well, this app is amazing. Look at all these restaurants, amusement parks, car washes, fitness centers. This is worth sharing about.
Exactly. Localflavor.com online, the Local Flavor mobile app, and Clipper Magazine together. It's like a triple play.
Do the cheer again. I'm in.
Localflavor.com. Local Flavor. Come on, everybody! Localflavor.com. Local Flavor. Localflavor.com. Local Flavor.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Clipper Magazine Stadium here on a Saturday night. Joe Gardner set to take us through the top half of the fifth inning against Mike Blank to start. The catcher shoots one over to Frias at short and then across to the first baseman Hobson. Just like that, one pitch, one out to kick things off in the fifth inning. If you're just now tuning in, that's a 6-3 in your scorebook and a 4-1 lead for the Somerset Patriots. They led it 4-0 in part to those runs coming across in the second inning, but the Barnstormers able to bring one over in the fourth thanks to a nice hit from Casey Hobson to stay on. Followed by that was Vladimir Frias, Hobson with a walk, Frias then with a single, and then the RBI drawn in from Darian Sanford, who was able to single and bring home KC. Alfredo Rodriguez is the leadoff hitter in the lineup, in the order for Somerset, but he's the second batter of this inning. Already one man down and one strike given to him. Joe Gardner throws in a fastball. Let's make it 0-2. And Joe Gardner has been the beneficiary of two double plays in both the third and fourth, respectively. That's limited the pitch count these last couple innings and allowed him to settle down as a number right in front of the plate, no more than 3 feet. Castile, number 3 himself, charges it, throws it to first, and there are 2 outs. And economical, the word of the day, at least for Gardner. Yes, it was a tough inning in the second, the 4 runs on 4 hits for Joey G, but otherwise he's been good. He's been settled in since then, and I made this comment last night as well, that if the Barnstormers are able to successfully, on the pitching side of things, limit the runs, it's unfortunate when you let up a big inning, sure, but you give your team a lot of chances to come back in it when it's scoreless the rest of the way. And now a first pitch strike given to Craig Massey. 0-1 with 2 outs. Gardner trying to get the bats right back to the plate, and good for him, good thinking with the run coming across there in the bottom half of the fourth. Maybe just get those bats right back at it for a chance to add more to the scoreboard. 1-1 to Craig Massey. Third pitch of the at-bat is chopped to Noel at second, and he'll toss to Hobson. How about that? A 1-2-3 inning. It took less than, I believe that was actually an 8-pitch inning, so Joe Gardner wheeling and dealing a little bit. We'll see if the bats can do the same. Lancaster trails it by 3, headed in to the bottom of the fifth.
Enjoy weekends with the Barnstormers all season long. Every Friday evening home game will feature a different giveaway ranging from t-shirts to beach towels to backpacks. On Saturdays, enjoy the best entertainment doubleheader there is with Barnstormers baseball followed by fireworks. Sundays are fun days at the ballpark. Get autographs from some of your favorite Barnstormers players and play catch on the field before the game. Once the game is over, it's a Domino's Pizza Kids Base Run. Call 717-509-HITS to order your tickets or go to LancasterBarnstormers.com. And we'll see you at the ballpark.
You can measure the sound of the Lexus LC500's naturally aspirated V8 engine and the quickness of its 10-speed transmission. But the only way to truly understand it is to experience it. Discover the feeling of the Lexus high-performance line at the Golden Opportunity Sales Event with exceptional offers on our most exhilarating models, now until September 4th. See Bobby Rahal Lexus in Mechanicsburg. Click the banner to discover more.
All right, everybody, it is the bottom half of the fifth inning. The Barnstormers are down 4 runs to 1. Andrew Mossberg's taking you through the bottom half here. The home team, Lancaster, getting set to bat with Blake Galen leading things off. Set to follow is Ryan Castile in the cleanup position and Trayvon Robinson, the designated hitter, who's in the 5-hole tonight. Galen will take the first pitch and swing over top. The breaking ball from Dustin Mulliken. Number 35, the right-hander, getting his second inning of work in. Nate Rowe also throwing 2 innings back in the second and third after starter Ryan Webb only going through 1 inning. We knew it would be a limited pitch count for Webb coming in today, so Somerset's bullpen tasked with the bulk of the game as Galen will foul off another, making it 0-2. And trying to stay alive in this at-bat, Blake has went almost 20 games now, looking at closer to 20 games since his last home run, but things can change in the blink of an eye or in just one swing. We'll find out if that's the case. 0-2, and Galen will swing over the breaking ball. Might have been a change up in there. Strike 3 called, 1 man down. Ryan Castile coming in after walking in the first inning. He flew out to center in the third. Castile hit the ball well in that stanza, so chance for Ryan on any other part of this ballpark to get that baseball out of here. That's the opportunity that presents itself as the Barnstormers look to break even on the series to set up a rubber game tomorrow afternoon. Somerset took game 1 of this series last night by a score of 5-0. Castile swings at the first pitch over to the shortstop and tossed across from Rodriguez at short to Boyd at first. 6-3, 2 men down. Trayvon Robinson, just like that, the last out to come up this inning. Robinson, Castile, and Galen were the only batters that did not get a chance to hit in the 4th inning. 6 men brought to the plate for Lancaster, which helped generate the 1 run. They also had a couple of hits and a walk. In fact, all told, Lancaster with 5 walks in the game tonight. So they're doing great when it comes to pitch selection and waiting and making sure they can get on base. It's just from there they might need 1 or 2 knocks to make the difference in this game. Robinson flinches at the first pitch, and again, this is a changeup, so without a doubt, Mulliken reverting to his off-speed stuff to attack the Barnstormers bats and not going to the fastball. Maybe this time it changes. Hard to tell. No read on it because that one was well outside the zone. Blank had to jump up on the left end of his glove to try and keep it away from the screen in the back. Robinson still looking in now. 1 ball, 1 strike. The left-handed batter from California takes this pitch from Mulliken and will hold up his swing. They appeal down to third base. Umpire Nate Caldwell, he says there was no swing, and so Robinson favored by the 2-1 count. If we get to it, Casey Hobson, who started the last inning with a walk and came around to eventually score, he is in the on-deck circle, so we may get to see Casey. It'll depend on this at-bat. Mulliken, a right-hander, to the left-handed bat. In the corner for a strike. Robinson doesn't like it, but he'll just reset. Takes 1 step out of the batter's box. By the way, that rubber game between these two teams tomorrow at 1 p.m. right here at Clipper Magazine Stadium. Still 1 more series this year with the Somerset Patriots after. 2-2, Robinson, that one a little too close for comfort. He backs out of the box. 3-2. We go to another full count tonight. And another 3-ball count, which only Vladimir Frias in this lineup has not been granted. Although he did get a single in the last inning, so he didn't need to worry about getting the 3 balls. But besides that, the other batters, all 8 of them, have at least seen 3. Trayvon on the full count swings at a high topper. That's a strikeout. And just like that, a super quick 5th inning. If we had them all like that, games would be 2 hours, maybe even less. Nothing across for the Barnstormers. Thanks for letting me take you through the 5th inning. Dave Collins back with you in the 6th. Lancaster trails 4-1.
America's most unique beer fest is coming to Clipper Magazine Stadium on Sunday, September 9th during the Barnstormers game against the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. That afternoon, samples from over 20 local breweries will be made available throughout the right field hospitality areas. Souvenir pint and sample glasses and a broken bat hat will go to everyone buying a ticket. VIP tickets are available for early entry and limited releases. For more information, go to www.lancasterbarnstormers.com.
So, John, what should the Steelers' focus be this season?
Steelers fast play for sure.
As opposed to what?
I'm talking Steelers fast play tickets from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Playing's faster than our wide receiver running a slant.
Faster than our defense blitzing the QB?
Oh, yeah. The game's got progressive top prizes, plus second chance drawings for Steelers game tickets, meet and greets, autographed merchandise, and more.
Wow. I'm going to get mine fast.
Fast Play. Play fast, win instantly. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day.
Andy Chavez leading off the sixth inning against Joe Gardner, who's faced the minimum of 9 batters over the last 3 innings, gotten a lot of ground balls. Chavez is 1 out of 2. He has grounded to short and singled up the middle. First pitch here is a strike, tailing back to the inside corner. It's 0-1.
And then Gardner had an 8-pitch fifth inning, so that worked out for him.
You've got to love the groove he's gotten into here. No balls and a strike. Bends down and in. It is 1-1 on Chavez. The Barnstormers with the 1 run on the board, and then last inning, a couple of big strikeouts for Mulligan. And it looks like he's going to stay in one more. Inside to Chavez, 2 balls and a strike.
I know it's 4-1, but is Gardner the best starter we've seen this week?
John Anderson.
Okay. What game was that again? That wasn't Thursday.
That was the finale in York.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Ground ball again. Backhanded dig made by Bortnick. He'll throw to first, and there's 1 out. Man, Gardner's gotten on a roll here through the middle innings.
And it's a shame because the rule is 6 innings and 3 runs or less gives you a quality start. We can't say because there's still 2 outs to be had, but minus that 1 inning, this has been quality from Joe Gardner.
Outside of that second inning, again, getting yourself in trouble, not being able to get yourself out of it. We talked about that not just this year, but it seems to have plagued a number of Barnstormers starting pitchers the last 2 or 3 years. We've had some guys that, even in the past couple of years, with exceptional stuff, but that to me was always kind of the trademark of a guy we had here by the name of Brian Evans. Maybe the best stuff of any starting pitcher we've ever had, but he would have that 1 inning seemingly every game. He would pitch 5 1-2-3 innings and maybe give up 3 runs in the other. That one scalded and picked by Bortnick. To his glove side, he throws the first, 2 outs. Jace Boyd retired, 2 gone. Nate Coronado will step in. He is 1 for 2. The last 7 batters have grounded out, and the last 5, 7, 9, 10, 11, the last 11 batters that Gardner has retired have all hit the ball on the ground. 2 down here, and the pitch to Nate Coronado, good for a strike at the knees. It is 0-1. Barnstormers, I think, need to get Joe Gardner off the hook in this game. He has really pitched brilliantly outside of, again, that 1 inning. Breaking ball is good for strike 2 on Coronado. Remember, that inning started when Coronado was able to muscle a ball out to shallow left field off the end of his bat on an 0-2 pitch. And I don't think Gardner made a bad pitch at all there if you're not wasting one.
No, I don't think so.
And then the 2 hard-hit balls off of Joe tonight followed that up. The single by Flores and the 3-run double by Francoso around the bunt play where Joe tried to get the out at third base, and I understand that, but it basically, to me, was a bit of a miscalculation on the part of the defense to go for the lead man in that situation. 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Coronado. Gardner to the plate. That's lifted foul and out of play. We're still at 2-2. 4-1. Somerset leading. Top half of the 6th inning. Darian Sanford with the lone RBI for the Barnstormers in the game. Darian, in fact, has had a great night at the plate. 2-2, breaking ball, and that's strike 3 called. Coronado goes down looking.
Wow.
And, a streak of groundouts ends for Gardner, but he has his 4th consecutive 3-batter inning. His second 1-2-3 inning in a row. And we're going to the bottom half of the sixth. The Patriots are still up by a score of 4-1.
You can measure the exceptional torque of the Lexus LX and the capability of its full-time four-wheel drive. But the only way to truly understand it is to experience it. Discover the feeling of the Lexus line of SUVs at the Golden Opportunity Sales Event with exceptional offers on our most capable models, now until September 4th. See Bobby Rahal Lexus in Mechanicsburg. Click the banner to discover more.
Celebrate the history of our national pastime at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown. See priceless treasures that will bring your baseball memories to life. Find stories that will inspire and surprise. Cooperstown is where you, your family, and your friends can relive baseball's greatest moments and honor the all-time greats of the game. See all that the Hall of Fame and Museum has to offer and plan your family visit today at baseballhall.org.
Dustin Mollican gets his third inning of work. He'll face Hobson, Frias, and Bortnick, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters for the Barnstormers. KC has scored the only run for the Barnstormers in the game tonight. He walked leading off the fourth inning. Barnstormers have left 7 runners on base in this game. In Somerset, only 1. That's fairly lopsided.
Yeah.
Here's the pitch from Mollican to Hobson. That is down and in. Ball 1-0. Mollican gave up the 2 hits, the walk and the run back in the fourth inning. He was clean in the fifth. And his pitch count not terribly high. Brett Jody feeling comfortable sending him out there for a third. To Hobson, he gets underneath. Fly ball, left center field.
Moral of the
He's going
story.
to take this one. The left fielder Trapp comes out of there with it. 1 out.
I mean, you mentioned it. Anytime it's put into play, it just feels like it's always going through the air. And there's just a certain way that Somerset has been able to, I don't know if you want to say expose a weakness. I didn't know this was a weakness. It's just
yeah, I didn't know that either, but they're definitely pitching to contact and pitching to get the ball elevated tonight. Vladimir Frias steps in. He had the first of what now is 2 Barnstormers base hits. He is 1 for 2 in the ball game. He sliced a liner out to left field back in the fourth inning.
kind of funny how this has gone, too, because we talk about guys getting wall shy on the mound.
Frias tries to bunt his way on, pops that up foul all the way back up to the Lexus suites above.
That's a second deck bunt.
No balls and a strike, the count to Vladimir.
But guys get so wall shy, and that makes me think that, pitchers do not want to see the ball go into the air, and yet there's absolute confidence just flowing through Somerset's arms that they're letting it happen, but they're doing a good job for the most part of letting the ball go into left or center field.
To Frias, 0-1. He swings and grounds a foul just out of the reach of Tyler Bortnick in the on-deck circle. No balls, 2 strikes here. The Barnstormers have stayed in the game on what has been a great effort by Joe Gardner in the last 4 innings.
Yeah.
That really means
he really has
so
done
much for this ball club. Swing and a miss. Frias goes down, and Mollican has caught fire. He's retired 6 straight.
Do we know what Gardner's count is at? Because I have to think he's good for the 7th, right?
I have him at 84.
So you
have to check the official, but
if it's
nobody's warming up in the Barnstormers bullpen.
Okay, yeah.
Ross is going to go back to him. Tyler Bortnick steps in. He is 0 for 1 with a walk, has a stolen base tonight. There has to be a little bit of concern, I would think, right now, running through the Barnstormers about this offensive lull. And again, we've seen it all year. At any time, they could snap out of it.
Yeah, that's right.
But you just can't let it go on long. When they snap out, they tend to snap out pretty big. 1-0 to Bortnick. Up and in, and He's wondering where he got the target on his upper body this year. Man, he's been hit a lot.
What did I do wrong? Did I say something about somebody? I mean, Bortnick, from my vantage point, when we're down in the clubhouse, he seems like a well-liked guy. I don't think any of his teammates want to hit him with a ball.
Here's the 2-0 pitch. Creamed foul down the left side, almost hit the bullpen bench and hopped up onto the hill. 2-1 to Bortnick.
Somerset didn't have anybody sitting down. Otherwise, there might have been a bruised knee or something out there.
That's 2 tonight. He is cranked down the left side.
And don't forget the one he got towards the right side foul as well.
Mulligan ready to go. Here's the 2-1. Bortnick drives that toward left center field. Over goes Francoso. He won't get to it. That ball is in the gap. Bortnick is on his way to second. Here comes the throw. It will be late. Tyler slides in with a double.
Nice hit.
The Barnstormers with their first extra base hit since the 4th inning on Thursday. Runner in scoring position. Rico Noel will try to pick him up. Bortnick arguably has had the best series at the plate for the Barnstormers. He's had 2 hits and 2 walks here.
Yeah, no, I like Bortnick's approach right there. And I think that's a good reward for a guy who's already hit the ball well tonight, but hit it foul multiple occasions.
The batter is Noel. He's 0 for 2 on flyouts. 1 to left, 1 to right. Lancaster with a runner in scoring position, trying to get one closer to the Somerset cadre of relievers that they're facing tonight. Here's the pitch to Rico. Check swing. It's high. Ball 1, no strikes.
And you need to take a page out of Somerset's book here because you have 2 outs and a guy in scoring position. So those 2 out RBIs that this Patriots team has been able to get, it shows in their work. They get rewarded for it. That's why they're going to the postseason come September. Barnstormers looking to join them.
Here's a 1-0. Noel pushes a bunt way too hard, and it's gobbled up by Boyd. Actually, in between, if he bunted that any harder,
I think he
might have had a bunt double.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Boyd was way off the first baseline, and Noel pushes the bunt where he could still get to it. No runs on 1 hit with no errors. The runner left in scoring position. We'll go to the 7th inning. The Patriots continue to lead 4-1.
Like craft beers, local wines? Well, the best place to be in Lancaster then is Clipper Magazine Stadium. That's right, all new for 2018 is the Broken Bat deck down the right field line. The Broken Bat will feature more than 20 local craft breweries and product from 2 local wineries. If something with a little more kick is your adult beverage of choice, a local distillery is part of the Broken Bat as well. Food will be sold off a pub-style menu, so get together, hang out with your friends, make some new ones, and enjoy a night of craft beer sampling along with a Barnstormers game.
You're totally probably safe to ride on your spare for 6, maybe 9 months?
Don't trust the wrong advice. Get the right tires at the right price right away. It's what we've been doing at Jack Williams Tire right here in Pennsylvania since our family started this business back in 1929. Because doing things the right way is just the Williams way. Get the right tires right now at jackwilliams.com.
The Barnstormers a run, 3 hits, no errors. Lancaster has stranded. Now a total of 8 for the ball game. First pitch is in too close to Ramon Flores, who has not been retired tonight. He has a single and a walk. That's the only walk issued by Gardner in the game. Next delivery, breaking ball. This one reaches the inside corner. It's 1 ball and 1 strike, and it just looks like Gardner and Castile have decided to work Flores inside. Gardner just missed in there a couple of times the last visit. This one is low for ball 2, now 2-1. Justin Trapp on deck, and then Mike Francoso to bat third in the inning. Another right-hander loosening up in the bullpen for Somerset. Here's a 2-1 pitch, ground ball. Easy play for Bortnick, plenty of time for the throw. Flores is gone, and Joe Gardner just continues to streak right along here with ground ball outs. One down, Justin Trapp to the plate. He has reached on a fielder's choice on a sacrifice bunt. At least that's the way I think the scoring should go down. I didn't check officially.
Yeah.
And he grounded into a double play back in the fourth inning.
Flores marking the 12th consecutive batter to be sat down by Joe Gardner. So you mentioned last inning about the groove he's in. That's the word you used to describe it. I absolutely agree with you. Joe Gardner feeling it right now.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to Trapp. Inside for a ball, 1-1. Ultimately, the difference in the ball game tonight is that Somerset is 2 for 5 with runners in scoring position.
Yep.
And the Barnstormers have the one Sanford base hit.
That number is so important with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, the Barnstormers are 1 for 9. 2 balls, 1 strike to Trapp. The wind, Gardner comes back. Trapp looks at ball 3 down low. With Francoso waiting on deck. Mike Francoso has the big hit in the game, a base-clearing double in the second inning. The only inning in which Joe Gardner has struggled at all.
Right.
3-1. Gardner comes back. That is lifted. A rare fly ball for the Patriots tonight. And there's your man, Darian Sanford, with a catch. His first putout of the series. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. Francoso will step in.
Well, only took 16 innings for Darian to do something. I mean defensively, obviously.
To be involved.
Right.
Now, that being said, he did make a very good throw home to Francoso, where the Barnstormers were eventually able to get Francoso in the rundown in the second inning.
Yeah, Sanford has a good arm out there in center field.
Breaking ball for a strike. It is 0-1. One of the differences I've seen in Darian, one of the places where he has grown since coming to the Atlantic League, is that he is much better at using the arm that he has. He's not going to be confused with, back in my day, Cesar Geronimo or an Alex Ochoa or now Ramon Laureano from Oakland. But he knows how to use what he's got. Swing and a miss, it's 1-2. And that's been part of the growth process. I think it's a shame, and maybe a statement of where baseball has gone, that Kansas City, his original organization, didn't give him more of a chance. 1-2, foul ball back, still a ball and 2 strikes on Francoso. Sanford hung around this game in kind of the lower independent leagues for quite some time before Ross people say, you know what, I want to get that speed in here and let's see what we can do with it.
Yeah.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Ball 2 is high, 2-2, and Darian's come here. He worked a lot with Lastings Village last year, and he's simply developed into one of this league's better weapons, both offensively and defensively. 2-2. Hey, guess what? It's a ground ball to Bortnick.
There we go.
Another one. Throw to first base, and Joe Gardner keeps it going. His 5th straight 3-batter inning. We're going to the bottom of the 7th. 4-1 in favor. 4-1 in favor of Somerset.
You can measure the power of the Lexus LS500's twin-turbocharged engine, the responsiveness of its adaptive variable suspension, and the clarity of its available 23-speaker audio system. But the only way to truly understand it is to experience it. Discover the feeling only a Lexus can bring at the Golden Opportunity Sales Event, with exceptional offers on our most luxurious models, now until September 4th. See Bobby Rahal Lexus in Mechanicsburg. Click the banner to discover more.
So, John, what should the Eagles' focus be this season?
Eagles fast play for sure.
As opposed to what?
I'm talking Eagles fast play tickets from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Playing's faster than our wide receiver running a slant.
Faster than our defense blitzing the QB?
Oh, yeah. The game's got progressive top prizes, plus second chance drawings for Eagles game tickets, meet and greets, autographed merchandise, and more.
Wow. I'm going to get mine fast.
Fast Play. Play fast, win instantly. Players must be 18 or older. responsibly. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day.
Fourth right-hander of the night is on the hill for the Somerset Patriots. Remember, they started Ryan Webb, a Major League veteran setup man who is trying to make a comeback after spending a month in the Chicago Cubs organization on I guess what they call a workout contract. So he went an interesting inning, where he threw 34 pitches, basically using up his allotment for the night, going to 3 balls on every batter, but he walked 3, struck out 2, got out of a bases-loaded jam and a fly out the center. Nate Rowe worked 2 innings. Dustin Mollican goes 3. Barnstormers wouldn't mind if that pattern continued and Dustin Anseline worked 4, because that would send us to extra innings. The Barnstormers would tie the ball game at that point. Dustin Anseline takes over. He is on for the 7th inning. Mollican worked 3, giving up 3 hits and a run with 1 walk and 3 strikeouts. Barnstormers with Darian Sanford leading off the 7th inning, so obviously set up the way you like it if you're the Barnstormers, to have one of this league's top leadoff hitters in this situation. You know, leadoff hitters to me should be gauged by on-base percentage. And Sanford at 351 coming into tonight, and he's reached base every at-bat here. The pitch to him swung at and fouled back. He's down a strike against Anteline.
Well, and that's why
it is 0-1.
And that's why batting order matters. I know the obvious, it's a Captain Obvious sort of comment there, but you look at what a leadoff guy can do. He's a table setter for the team, and for potentially that inning. Darian Sanford has been able to generate so many runs by getting on base to start an inning, stealing second in an inning.
Down low for a ball. It is 1-1.
In fact, when we talk about, we mentioned earlier that if you know the answer to what causes slumps, then you'll be a rich man. I'd like to know, does it start with a leadoff guy? Where does a leadoff man go into play for a team being offensively productive?
To Sanford, here's the 1-1. He tries to bunt his way on and pops that up into the seats. Ball 1 and 2 strikes.
And another thing you talked about with Darian last inning that I wanted to go back to, and I think it's a great point, is you said that he learned things when he came to this league. And that's something that I wonder if everybody realizes. It's not just guys that, okay, they've been there, either affiliated or major league, and now they're here to just keep playing. No, guys come here still to learn more.
And you always learn this game, but we have younger players in this league. Just ask Somerset. They've got a lot of guys who are not terribly old. They usually bring 2 or 3 of them in. As Sanford swings and misses against Anteline, 1 out. Josh Bell will come to the plate. And they come and they develop in this league. This is not just a holding tank for old guys.
It's not. And it's not just a developing league like so many affiliate organizations have become, I feel.
Here's Josh Bell, 0 for 3 in the game tonight. Dustin Anteline into his motion, and to Bell low for ball 1, 1-0.
And I have a respect for any league in baseball, but I almost wonder if that's what, these AA, AAA, Eastern League, all this, if it is strictly a development league and it's not about winning anymore.
It's exactly that. Ball 1 and no strikes on Bell. The wind, Anteline to the plate. Ball 2 to Josh Bell. 2 balls and no strikes.
I was having a conversation with someone earlier today, and I was trying to figure this out. Like, if you were to guess how many guys under 30 years old are in a AA or on a AA team, on a AAA team?
They shouldn't be in AA. Used to be a lot of them in AAA. I don't think it's as much anymore. 2 balls, no strikes to Bell. Anteline, the 29-year-old, misses outside. He goes to ball 3.
And you want to look at a league like that, and if you want to call it a development league, then you need veterans. You need older guys to help because that's a leadership role that you can learn.
And they do bring some in. I think almost any AAA ball club does. 3 balls, no strikes to Bell.
I have to assume they're almost far and few between, though, at this point.
That is one of the reasons, actually, the Atlantic League has gotten better over time as fewer of those guys are getting signed to AAA. If you got big league time, you get paid more when you go to AAA. It's just part of the baseball development contract. So they may not be willing to pay quite as much for those vets. Called second strike at the knees, 3-2.
Yeah.
But they do pay for some, and guys come here with the goal of getting back to AAA in mind.
It's just interesting to think about those kinds of things, and you look at that's in a way how affiliated baseball has developed. I almost wonder where does independent baseball develop over the next 5, maybe 10 years?
Here's the payoff to Bell. Fouled at the plate. Josh will stay in there at 3-2 as the Barnstormers try to pick up some runs. They're still down by 3 here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. They've tried to claw their way back from a 4-run Somerset second inning. Joe Gardner, outside of that inning, has faced one batter over the minimum. Lancaster has left a lot of runners out there. 3-2 to Bell. Angeline into his wind, and the pitch to Bell is cut on, and again, just nicked foul enough to stay alive.
The way Bell is swinging that bat, you think he's aiming for the fences here?
At this stage, you almost might as well go for it. The Barnstormers need a charge of some sort.
Right. Yeah, and you might be right. That might be what they need to get it done because he had Bortnick double last inning, and he didn't come around to score. You might need to leave the yard and just get another run up on the board to rally the troops.
A little bit of a breeze is picked back up again, blowing out 3-2. Bell swings and misses. 2 outs in the inning. Back-to-back strikeouts for Angeline, who does have 3 saves this year. Dustin Angeline 1-4 with a 3.2 earned run average. It's his 42nd appearance. Blake Galen steps in. He has struck out twice and flied to center.
It's amazing that Somerset has managed 9 runs in this weekend series thus far.
In 2 innings.
In 2 of 16 innings, yeah.
2 outs and a Galen. Blake stares one into the glove. It's 0-1.
And if you were not if you weren't watching these games and somebody would just tell you, well, yeah, the away team's only scored in 2 of the 16 innings, you think, all right, we're doing good, I guess. Barnstormers are facing the adversity of being down 2-0 in this weekend, Cap.
0-1. Galen looks at a ball low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ryan Castile is on deck.
Blake Galen's another guy. I talked about the leadoff hitter in Sanford, but, Galen could get it going, get a nice knock in here. He's the kind of guy that'll get you a home run when you need it. And maybe he changes the complexion of the game.
Into the dirt for ball 2. Galen ahead in the count, 2 balls and a strike. The Barnstormers have drawn 6 walks in the game. They have only 3 hits. Finale of this series coming up tomorrow. Vince Molesky 4-2 against Barnstormers leading winner Nate Reed, who's 10-3.
Historic Nate Reed now.
Ball 3 wide to Galen. 3 balls and a strike. Oh, he's either, I think, going to be looking for a fat one here, or he'll take a walk if it's out of the zone.
Yeah. So you think he'll swing if this is a fastball? Anything?
Yeah, he's going to, I think, be very selective here. 3 balls and a strike, but if he likes it, expect him to air it out. Here's the pitch, and it's ball 4. There is walk number 7. Drawn by the Barnstormers in the game. They have had the leadoff man on in only 2 innings. That's been part of the series. Last night, the leadoff man didn't reach base for the Barnstormers until Trayvon Robinson was aboard on an infield single in the 9th inning. Here's Castile with 2 outs and a runner at first base. Angeline to the set. Castile with a swing and a foul ball right back. It is no balls and a strike. We talk about the development in the Atlantic League. The pitching is so much better, and it just seems to be available. It seems like you can refill the tank if you've lost some arms along the way. That never used to be the case. Years ago, you'd be trying to find almost anybody in midseason if you lost a pitcher or two, and team ERAs would routinely be above 5. Now, the Road Warriors may be there, but other teams in the 3s a lot of the time, including the Barnstormers this year. And that it just has to do with the depth of the starting rotations and the depth of the bullpen. 1 ball, 1 strike to Castile, and that's ball 2. Another inning where the Barnstormers, it's either balls or strikes. Galen at first, Castile batting 2-1. Let's say if Ryan can get on here, Trayvon's the tying run. And you just never know.
Yeah.
2 balls, 1 strike to Castile. The infielders are well back, 2 outs in the inning. The set by Angeline and the pitch. Castile fouls it away. We'll go to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Robinson, whether it's this inning or the next, it could be his last chance to extend a hitting streak to 11.
I mean, his on-base streak is there. He walked earlier. There's a positive.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Castile. Galen leading off first base. Not really the time to be running. Still being held by Boyd. And a 2-2 down and away. That was a ball out of the hand of Dustin Angeline. It looked like he simply held onto the ball a bit too long.
Yeah.
3 balls, 2 strikes. We've avoided that for a few innings now, but another Barnstormer with a full count in this game. 7 walks and 7 strikeouts of Barnstormers hitters tonight. 3-2. Galen takes off. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Angeline fans 3 here in the 7th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 man is stranded. We're on our way to the 8th inning. It's 4-1 Somerset.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Excuse me, are you saying localflavor.com?
Oh, yeah, it's where I save big bucks on all kinds of things. Home improvement projects, dining out, family fun, electronics, jewelry, clothing. I even bought my wife a fancy spa package for half price.
Half price?
Yep, you know all the deals you find in Clipper Magazine?
I love Clipper Magazine.
Well, they're all on localflavor.com too. And you can get them right on your phone thanks to localflavor.com's mobile app. Here, take a look.
Well, this app is amazing. Look at all these restaurants, amusement parks, car washes, fitness centers. This is worth sharing about.
Exactly. Localflavor.com online, the Local Flavor mobile app, and Clipper Magazine together. It's like a triple play.
Do the cheer again. I'm in.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Come on, everybody! Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Joe Gardner stays out there. Boy, he has been, outside of that 2nd inning, absolutely sensational here tonight. He's faced the minimum of 15 batters over the last 5 innings, allowing a single and a walk during that time. He's gotten a double play each time that leadoff runner has reached base. And right now, working on a streak where he has retired 11 in a row. The catcher, Mike Blank, leads off here in the 8th inning. Russ trusting Joe to save the bullpen for 1 more inning. More right-handed action in the bullpen, meanwhile, for the Somerset Patriots. Gardner's first pitch here is high. Ball 1 and no strikes. The count to Blank. No, this is not match game. That was pitch number 101 thrown by Gardner. Ground ball, third base. Bell backs up to play it. Long throw across right there and 1 out. Let's count up those ground balls that Gardner has gotten. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16 swinging ground balls out of 27 batters. for Gardner in the game. So you know he is pitching at his best when you see that kind of a rate. 1 out. The batter is Alfredo Rodriguez. He is 2 for 3. Good-looking breaking ball to start him off. That is strike 1. Craig Massey is on deck. It's 9-1-2 hitters this inning for the Patriots. Gardner back. He twirls another breaking ball into the dirt. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Lancaster with Robinson, Hobson, and Frias due in the 8th inning. Gardner comes home, jams the batter. It's rolled to the shortstop, bobbled by Frias. He's going to lose his man. Rodriguez aboard on what should go down as an error. The ball jumped a little bit on Vladimir. He lost the handle on it, and the ball deflected off of him and rolled too far out in front to be able to get Rodriguez, who runs well. That brings on Craig Massey, who is 0 for 3. Gardner needs to just keep going and get another double play. Why not? He gets another ground ball. This one mishandled. 1 out, runner aboard, and it is inside on Massey. Ball 1-0. The first time since the 4th inning Gardner's had to throw from the stretch. One ball, no strikes. Breaking ball, sliced foul the other way up toward the rooftop. We go to 1-1. When all is said and done, this has really been a plus night for Gardner. Lob throw over to first. Rodriguez chased back in there.
What's, I think, even more crazy about this is assuming he gets through these next 2 outs and the score were to stay the same or the Barnstormers are less than 4, it would be the second time this month Joe Gardner has went 8 innings and been given a loss.
Ball 2, high and outside on Massey. Now 2-1.
What do you make of the start here? I know there's 4 runs, but I still want to say Joe Gardner is having a terrific start.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you can't deny the fact what he has done for the last 6 innings.
Right.
I mean, he has been magnificent out there. To Massey, 2-1, slap foul the other way. It'll jump into the crowd on a hop. 2 balls and 2 strikes here. Massey at 341. We talked about how he has a shot at the Atlantic League batting title. Emilio Bonifacio, we haven't played the Ducks since Bonifacio got shut down. Now, it looks like he's active again. There's no indication today that he is no longer on the suspended or inactive list, whatever he was. Here's the pitch. Massey with a weak grounder foul. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Massey trails the double play combination for the Ducks often. Emilio Bonifacio and Jordani Valdespin in the batting race. Valdespin's their starting second baseman. Bonifacio jumps between shortstop and center field. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the Massey, it is a little bit high, 3-2. Full count pitch coming up. My guess is Rodriguez runs. I can't see Alfredo Rodriguez not running on this pitch. We'll see if Gardner throws over there. Runner on with 1 out. Massey batting 3-2. Rodriguez does take off. The ball is sent down the left field line, but slices foul to the bullpen bench. Continuing at 3-2. The 112th pitch for Gardner. Three balls, 2 strikes. Infield looking to turn another double play. Rodriguez goes. This ball is pulled to right field. The play made by Galen. He doesn't have a chance to throw behind Rodriguez, who turns tail and hustles back into first.
Yeah, I don't know if it has anything to do with the wind or not. I actually thought that ball was pretty well hit. I thought that one could have been going out.
Andy Chavez, 1 out of 3, steps in.
But again, Joe Gardner just keeping his team within 3 runs now. I mean, he's out there battling.
Just getting word tonight that longtime Arizona senator, former presidential candidate John McCain has passed away from his battle with brain cancer and lost to a great statesman.
Didn't know that.
Breaking ball for a strike. It is 0-1. I know he's been somewhat of a controversial figure in this divided political times as of late. I think just because he was trying to ride the center.
I think, to me, well, first off, when you use the term controversial, I think pretty much anybody who wants to get in the world of politics will hear that word to describe themselves at least once.
No balls, 1 strike to Chavez. And I don't think it was ever his intent to be breaking ball for a second strike. Rodriguez had started from first, aborted the takeoff. Chavez trailing 0-2. But John McCain, a guy for whom I have a tremendous amount of respect, I just think that he always put the country first. And, I think it's a huge loss.
Yeah. It's really hard, too, when if you want to, you're opening a can of worms that a lot of people are always going to feel divided on. But when you talk about the world of politics and you talk about putting the country first, everybody puts themselves first. And that's why you see political fields divided, because you're going to have a different opinion from everybody. Your form of putting the country first might be thinking education. Another might be thinking pay raise. It's
popped up here near the second base bag. Bortnick making the call and the catch. And Joe Gardner, meanwhile, has gotten the Barnstormers through 8 innings. But again, John McCain, a longtime senator from Arizona, has passed away. I think a loss to this nation. We'll go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Somerset leading 4-1.
Enjoy weekends with the Barnstormers all season long. Every Friday evening home game will feature a different giveaway ranging from t-shirts to beach towels to backpacks. On Saturdays, enjoy the best entertainment doubleheader there is with Barnstormers baseball followed by fireworks. Sundays are fun days at the ballpark. Get autographs from some of your favorite Barnstormers players and play catch on the field before the game. Once the game is over, it's a Domino's Pizza Kids Base Run. Call 717-509-HITS to order your tickets or go to LancasterBarnstormers.com. And we'll see you at the ballpark.
You can measure the sound of the Lexus LC500's naturally aspirated V8 engine and the quickness of its 10-speed transmission. But the only way to truly understand it is to experience it. Discover the feeling of the Lexus high-performance line at the Golden Opportunity Sales Event with exceptional offers on our most exhilarating models, now until September 4th. See Bobby Rahal Lexus in Mechanicsburg. Click the banner to discover more.
Logan Kensing will work the bottom of the 8th inning. Trayvon Robinson, Casey Hobson, and Vladimir Frias, the scheduled hitters for the Barnstormers. Kensing, a guy who's been in and out of Major League Baseball over the years. He lives in Borden, Texas. He is 36 years of age, 6'1" and 190 pounds. For the season, 3-3 in 47 appearances with a 3.09 ERA. The Barnstormers have been able, in general, to handle Kensing. In the season series, they have scored 6 runs off of him in 4 2/3 innings, and they have to look to have success again tonight. Robinson leading off. He is 0 for 2 with a walk, needs a base hit to extend his hitting streak to 11, which would be the second longest streak officially by a Barnstormer this year. Here's the wind and a Trayvon. It is away. Ball 1 and no strikes. The Barnstormers have drawn 7 walks tonight, but they have struck out 8 times. They have just 3 base hits. Singles by Frias and Sanford, a double by Bortnick. 1-0, the count to Robinson. Kensing into his motion, and Robinson will get ball 2 down low. Trayvon will take a walk. The win is more important than the hitting streak. Meanwhile, the Barnstormers have Matt Reynolds warming up in the bullpen. Now you're thinking, why is Reynolds warming up with the ball club down 4-1? He's the closer. Well, the reason is simple. This is his last game.
Yep.
He is retiring following tonight. Inside, ball 3-0. How nice would it be for the Barnstormers to score 4 runs here and give him that save opportunity in his finale? We wish Matt the best. He has been a tremendous pitcher and a tremendous competitor for the Barnstormers, both for half of 2016 and this season. Guy with a veteran presence in the clubhouse. Ball 4 is outside. Robinson draws his second walk tonight. That's 8, tying a season high for the Barnstormers hitters. Casey Hobson will step in. He is 0 for 2 with a walk. We certainly wish Matt Reynolds well.
Yeah, and I actually think it's really cool that Joe Gardner was able to go 8 innings because the only guy you hope to see out of the bullpen is Matt Reynolds tonight. That's not to sound like a disparage to anybody else, but I think those guys gel down there at the bullpen. They know what this means for him. I'm sure it was a tough decision for Matt, and you see a lot of good players across the league, all the way back at the beginning of the year. Kyle Waldrop retired with us. You saw Kyle Kibitzer retire.
Kyle Roller for Somerset. Yep. There's no right or wrong decision. You can't judge what goes on in anybody else's world. First pitch to Casey Hobson's a strike. It is 0-1. Casey is 0 for 2 with a walk, as I said. You can't put yourself in anybody else's shoes. That is one of the most personal calls there is. When it is time to call it a day in baseball. He's going back to school. More power to him.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. You talk about this Rogers and Associates building a better future. Matt Reynolds is going to do that for himself. And I think that's great. And I think another good thing you mentioned there, I've talked to so many people in this industry about broadcasting. And I know it's a totally different thing, but maybe it's not as different as we think it is. When looking at broadcasting compared to sports, if you're in sports broadcasting, same thing is said there. Nobody tells you when. You just need to know when it's time.
Yeah, I'm one of the fools that stuck it out. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hobson swings and misses. Kensing has him at 1-2. Vladimir Frias waiting on deck.
What are you, 60 or 61?
I will be 60 on my next birthday.
Okay, all right. So, there's got Doc Emmerich, 72 years old. He's still doing it. So
yeah, like I said last night, Vin Scully did it into his upper 80s.
Yeah.
If I try to do that in his voice, I won't make it to my upper 80s.
Yeah. Well, your nerves won't make it. That's your big thing.
1 ball, 2 strikes, and a Hobson. Ball 2 is low.
That's the adjustment that you came to the Atlantic League to develop a little bit, Dave. Your nerves. You have to get in the batting cage downstairs a little later on.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 runner on. The tying run now in the on-deck circle. Hobson looking to advance the inning somehow. The shift once again is on. It's a little tougher to turn a double play out of this. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the motion. Robinson takes off. Ball 3 is inside. The throw down from Blank pops up, and Robinson has the steal. That's his 14th of the year. Runner at second base with nobody out. Hobson is batting at 3-2. And Chris Engstrand, I think, gets some lip from the Somerset dugout over that being called ball 3.
Yeah, by the way, Dave, Bob Chase, who was a voice for minor league, ECHL, well, they were a bunch of different leagues, but the Fort Wayne Comets, they're still a team. He was the voice of that team for 63 seasons.
Jim Weber, the voice of the Toledo Mudhens, I think has a similar run going. Ball 4 is inside and low. The pitch getting away from Blank. He didn't know where that was at all and was at his feet. Robinson sneaks over to the third. Well, it's a walk and a wild pitch. And Vladimir Frias will have a shot to tie it up after the Barnstormers draw their 9th walk in the ballgame. Last night, Lancaster pitching walked 9, and now Somerset pitching puts 9 on, a new season high for the Barnstormers. That notwithstanding, it puts Lancaster in a position now to rally in this game. I mentioned the Barnstormers have had a lot of success against Kensing. Vladimir Frias is 1 for 3 tonight, and with the wind, a friendly wind, now blowing out, the Barnstormers are 1 swing of the bat away from a tie game. Frias can't think about that too much. He just needs to try and hit a ball hard somewhere. He'll step away from the plate, getting a timeout from Chris Engstrand, the home plate umpire. Webb walked 3, Rowe walked 2, Mollican 1, Antolin 1. And now Kensing has put the first 2 runners aboard here in the 8th inning. 4-1, Somerset leads. Frias batting, Kensing to the plate, and Vlad gets a ball down low.
Yeah.
It is 1-0. Bortnick is on deck, and then Noel. We have a chance at some late-inning dramatics. The problem is the more powerful guys have drawn the walks. So you may have to play it one base at a time, one batter at a time after Vlad. Kensing goes to work. Here's the 1-0. Frias goes for it and bounces it past Bortnick.
Sometimes we've seen guys that when they get up at the plate, you become a little impatient because you want to get that big knock in. You want to see if you can get a run here. I think patience has to be of the virtue right now, though. Given the situation, runners on the corners, nobody is out. Vladimir Frias has an option here. He has actually many.
1 ball, 1 strike. Somerset is just going to take outs. Here's the pitch to Frias. Line foul the other way. It's 1-2.
Now, is that one where you think, is he intentionally fouling it off, or is that one
No,
where he's behind on the swing?
You don't intentionally foul off a pitch with 1 strike.
Right.
He was trying to go the other way with that. He's got a lot of room down the left field line. He gets that down, the tying run's in scoring position.
Yeah.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Frias. Robinson up the line from third, Hobson off first. Here's the set, the 1-2. Frias cranks it foul down the right side. With the exception of the Bortnick double, the hardest hit balls by the Barnstormers tonight have all been foul. We've seen Bortnick with a couple, Frias a couple this at bat. Nobody's put one out of the ballpark foul. Frias continues to bat at 1-2. Tyler Bortnick on deck, then Rico Noel.
Yeah, Frias singled back in the 4th inning, so there's room for him to get another one here.
We've got Garcia and De La Rosa on the bench.
It's also a strikeout victim.
Kensing ready to go. Here comes the 1-2. Frias lets it go. Ball 2 is in the dirt. That gets away from blank. Robinson will score. Logan Kensing's control has become an issue here in the 8th inning, and it's now a 4-2 ball game. That puts the 3rd run into scoring position, but it's still the tying run at the plate. Frias batting at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The good news is you don't have to get all the way back this inning because it's the 8th, not the 9th. 2 walks, a stolen base, a couple of wild pitches. Frias batting 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now you've got at least 3 chances here to make it a 4-3 ball game. You'd like to get 2 more out of this inning and tie it up. 2-2 to Vlad. Kensing looking back at Hobson. He'll set, end of the plate. This is popped up down the left side. Coronado has no play on it. It will land foul down toward the bullpen bench.
Yep.
No one had a chance of getting it.
No, that's good. So he stays alive, and Frias just keeps fouling it off, making this a tough at-bat. Got Tyler Bortnick on deck. So it's Frias, Bortnick, and Noel. Unless there's some kind of double play that could it certainly could happen, but right now you're going to see Frias, Bortnick, and Noel this inning. And you have to think of it, first off, Frias and Noel are hitting .294 and .300 respectively, and then Bortnick has had arguably the best series of any of the hitters so far, so you've got some good options going for you. 2
balls and 2 strikes. Hobson leading off second. Kensing ready to go. That hits Vladimir, and the tying run heads to first base. So now when you total up this inning, Kensing has really gotten himself in a fix. 2 walks, 2 wild pitches, and now a hit batter. First and second, Tyler Bortnick stepping in, and I have to think he's up there to bunt.
Feels odd seeing this because the Barnstormers have been dealing with some very good pitching as there's going to be a second mound visit being used.
John Hutton coming out to talk things over with Kensing.
But when you look at, and yes, they are going to get somebody warming up, this series so far, Dave, we've seen excellent relief pitching from the Somerset Patriots, and including guys that have done multiple innings of work both today and Friday night. So this is a little different. We're seeing a guy struggle.
Now you've got to get these runs home and tie the game. The tying run's on, nobody out here in the 8th inning. Logan Kensing has found the Barnstormers simply to be his nemesis. We gave you the numbers earlier. He has now given up 6 hits, 7 runs, 5 walks in 4 2/3 innings for a guy whose numbers otherwise are pretty good. The Barnstormers have pinned 1 loss on him so far this year. Tyler Bortnick will come to the plate. It's decision time for the Barnstormers. I would think that Ross Peoples probably has Bortnick bunting, but again, he's been swinging the bat certainly as well as anybody has for the Barnstormers in this series. He is 2 out of 5 with a double and a couple of walks. He has Lancaster's only extra base hit in these 2 games. Hobson, the runner at second. Frias aboard at first. Bortnick stands in. We talk about all the times that Bortnick has been hit by a pitch this year. Well, Frias has been victimized quite a bit as well. That was his 9th. Bortnick stands in. Kensing comes set. Bortnick squares around, and did he offer at it? He did not. Ball 1 is low. 1 ball and nothing. What Somerset cannot afford here is another wild pitch.
No, they certainly can't. I mean, they're advancing runners without making anybody at the plate do anything other than get out of the way.
Ball 1-0 to Bortnick. They still defend the bunt. Coronado and Boyd come in. Bortnick jumps out of the way. A ball 2. Again, he gets squared.
Well, they've got a guy warming up right now, so you have to wonder, depending on this could be Kensing's last batter.
Yeah, finally, I can identify a pitcher. I don't need to read the number. That's Mike Antonini warming up in the Somerset bullpen, the blonde-haired lefty. 2 runners on, nobody out. Bortnick may square again, but I think he's going to force Kensing to throw a strike. The right-hander is missed with 13 out of 19. 2-0. The corners creep in even more.
Yeah, take a look at first base.
Time called.
Jace Boyd was about 20 feet or more, about 20 feet in front of the first base bag.
With that, trying to force Bortnick to bunt the ball toward third. There is the wheel play on or not. It doesn't look like it. Rodriguez a long way from getting to third base. Here's the 2-0. Bortnick squares. He drops it down foul. 2 balls and a strike. I am surprised that he didn't pull off of that and force Kensing to throw a strike.
Yeah, that's a fair bunt. We've got a no-out, spaces loaded situation.
Yeah, almost was in the really good spot down the third base line, but the grass wouldn't hold it for him. Now 2-1 on Bortnick. Rico Noel waiting on deck, then Darian Sanford. So the likelihood of all of a sudden a lead change on a 3-run home run isn't there. It's always possible. Bortnick does have 5. 2 balls and a strike. Bortnick drops another bunt down foul. 2-2.
Yep, now you got to be careful.
Now he's got to swing away.
Yep. And at the same
2
time.
balls and 2 strikes.
And that's what's unfortunate, because even in a bad bunt situation where, you get out at first, Bortnick's so fast that you oftentimes don't worry about that. But if you did and you got that out, you're still going to move the runners ahead to second and third with 1 down. Now he can swing and miss. Now he can hit a shallow fly out and potentially not create the productive outs we're so used to seeing Bortnick do.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Bortnick. Kensing comes to the set. Bortnick gets ball 3 down and away. It fills the count. Now, Hobson and Frias, not the combination you're going to be starting on a double steal right now, I wouldn't think. But we could get the runners in motion. You risk a double play on a strikeout. 3-2 to Bortnick. Kensing trying to get his first out of the inning. Here's the payoff. Bortnick swings, and fouls that at the plate and ends up doing a somersault.
I
thought he had
weird
missed
ones.
it entirely. The ball was down and in.
What is that?
Bortnick swung, fouled it off his foot, and the Czechoslovakian judge gives him an 8.6 on the tumble, but he is hurting a little bit.
Yeah, well, because he's hurting, I don't want to be. I don't want to be laughing at this. I'm just saying I do kind of want to see the video on it. This is something you could put online. This is truly YouTube worthy on the Lancaster Barnstormers YouTube channel.
Just stayed alive, fouling the ball off his foot. He's walking off the sting at the moment. And then fell forward and rolled over.
And then, yeah. I mean, the funniest one that I always see here is the Vlad Frias limbo. You know, Vlad will get down on both knees and just, lean back. That one, though, Bortnick beat him out.
3-2 to Tyler.
You got to have a good move if you know you're going to get hit by a pitch so many times.
Big moment here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Bortnick at least trying to advance the runners, if not get on himself. Kensing doesn't want to walk another. 3-2. Here's the pitch. Bortnick crushes a foul down the left field line, disappearing past the carousel.
My goodness.
Well, he straightened that one out, and the Barnstormers have a lead. But that is sort of, we talked about it a lot, the rut Bortnick is in.
Yeah.
He has hit so many of those.
With that, the length on that, I mean, the distance, that might have been a center field home run. I mean, that was crushed.
Still 3-2. The 25th pitch for Logan Kensing in the inning. The set, the payoff, and all of that, it's a swing and a miss for strike 3. Rico Noel will come to the plate. And how often do you see that? A ball absolutely hammered foul and then a strikeout on the next pitch.
If Bortnick, if bad luck didn't exist, Tyler Bortnick wouldn't have any. It feels that sort of way for him. And think about this entire night, the amount of foul balls he has hit that have been well hit.
Noel steps in at 0 for 3. Now, you're not looking for a bunt or a productive out here. You almost got to get Noel on base.
Yeah, you got to get a hit.
Sanford, the switch hitter on deck. Antonini ready in the bullpen. Time called. Noel backing out.
And I initially thought Bortnick would be the last batter for Kensing.
But with the strikeout, he stays in against Noel. You'll see Antonini, I would think, in eventually this inning, barring a double play. Here's the pitch to Rico. Ground ball left side into the hole with a diving stop as Rodriguez. Throw to third is late, and the bases are loaded. Noel with an infield single extends the possibilities here in the Barnstormers' 8th inning. Great stop made by Alfredo Rodriguez at shortstop. He tried to rush a throw to Coronado, but
he saved a run.
Hobson got there. Brett Jody on his way out. That will be all for Logan Kensing. Darian Sanford will face Mike Antonini. Lancaster's 4th hit of the ball game. The bases are loaded here in the 8th inning. And with the pitching change, we'll take a break and pause for this.
Hi, Barnstormers fans. Andrew Mossbergs here again with another edition of your Atlantic League Look-In, and the Lancaster Barnstormers are the Community Cup champions of 2018. The War of the Roses, annually held between the Barnstormers and fellow Keystone State rival York Revolution, came to a conclusion recently with the Barnstormers traveling to Peoples Bank Park in York. They had a 4-game series, needing to win 2 to take the cup. That's what they were able to do. They got their 2nd win of the series, clinching the hardware on the final game of the season between the Barnstormers and Revolution. It was a 6-4 win for Lancaster, and the War of the Roses comes to an end. The The Barnstormers took 10 of 18 contests from the Revs this season, and with that, the War of the Roses is over. The petals that were once white inside the trophy are going to be changed to beautiful, lush red. That's it for this edition of the Atlantic League Look-In. I'm Andrew Mossbrooks. Now back to Dave Collins with more play-by-play baseball.
The Barnstormers have put themselves in position to, at the very least, get Joe Gardner off the hook tonight after really a wonderful outing for Joe that is likely to be done through 8 innings. Gardner giving up the 4 runs in the second, and after that he absolutely plowed through the Somerset Patriots batting order. But now you run into a little bit more friction. The lefty setup ace for Somerset in the ballgame, Mike Antonini, 3-2 with no saves, but a 1.21 ERA. He has allowed only 22 hits and 11 walks in 44 2/3 innings, and he has struck out 49 on the season. The Barnstormers badly in need of a base hit. The tying run carried by Vladimir Frias out at second base, and of course he runs fairly well, and the go-ahead run belongs to Rico Noel, an even faster guy at first. The hitter is Sanford. Darian singled in a run back in the 4th inning. He is 1 out of 2 officially in the game. Bases loaded with 1 out. And Somerset will gladly give up a 3rd run here to get the 2nd out of the inning. Sanford trying to produce. The Barnstormers with their 2nd bases loaded chance of the game. Here's the pitch to Darian. Line drive, base hit into left field. 1 run scoring. Vlad is going to be held at 3rd. Sanford drives in his 2nd of the game. It's 4-3. The Barnstormers are on the brink of turning this one around. Josh Bell now will step in. Casey Hobson scoring. Frias simply hit that, Frias stopping at 3rd because Sanford hit that ball so hard. Justin Schrapp was up with it in a hurry. Darian Sanford delivering. It's 4-3. 2 runs home in the inning. Frias at 3rd, Noel at 2nd. Sanford, the runner at 1st. Josh Bell steps in, 0 for 4 in the ball game.
It almost always seems like the coffee machines for the Barnstormers turn on in the 7th, 8th, or 9th inning. This team, the amount of late inning runs they get.
First pitch strike in on Bell. It is 0-1.
It sure creates some exciting baseball, I guess you could say.
The bats have awakened here. Bell has had a rough stretch. He can erase it with a base hit now. Antonini is ready to go. The 0-1. Josh lays off. It is a ball high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Blake Galen waits on deck. A deep fly ball, and it doesn't even have to be all that deep, can tie the score.
And you got a good crowd.
In the bottom of the 8th.
You got a good crowd here. They're getting behind it a little bit. You can hear the noise a bit.
1 ball, 1 strike to Bell. Speed on the bases. The set, and Bell swings and beats an off-speed pitch foul. It is 1-2.
Important to note, it is 4-3, so they still need 1 more at least. And the Barnstormers have that tying run a measly 90 feet away. A sac fly would work, Dave.
Yeah, it would tie the ball game. And if he hits the ball deep enough,
we're up.
You could see Noel scoring from 2nd.
Yeah, you've got good
the outfielders are up. They'd have to go back to play a deep fly ball. 1-2 on Bell. Swing, and he hits it well. Out the left field. Trapp won't get there. It's into the gap. The Barnstormers will take the lead. 2-run score. Sanford is flying around. Bell has cleared the bases. It's a 3-run double and a 6-4 Lancaster lead. A big moment for Josh Bell. 3 runs batted in, and Lancaster is ahead here in the 8th inning. They were playing short to cut off potentially a 2nd run on a single. And with that, Bell belts a ball over the head of Justin Trapp deep to left. JB at 2nd base, still only 1 out in the inning. 4 runs are charged to Kensing and 1 to Antonini in this 5-run bottom of the 8th. We got our wish for Matt Reynolds.
Yeah.
First pitch breaking ball is outside to Galen. Ball 1, no strikes. Ryan Castile is on deck.
Maybe it was something about that. Something about Matt Reynolds going to call it a career in what could be just a few short minutes, and that awoke the Barnstormers and made them want to battle for their pitcher.
Here's the ball 1 pitch to Galen. Ground ball foul past the first base coaching box. It is 1-1 to Blake.
Last night, it was a big 5-run inning for the Somerset Patriots that they would never look back on. Tonight, they did have a 4, but the Barnstormers with a 5-run 8th inning. Still could be more coming up.
Boyd, Coronado, and Flores due in the top of the 9th. 1 ball, 1 strike to Galen. Bell leads off second, and Antonini steps off.
You called it perfectly, Dave, about Josh Bell just hitting the ball deep, and if it would get past the outfielders who were playing shallow.
Even if they had to retreat to make the catch, the Barnstormers have done it twice this year. They have scored a runner from second base on a sac fly.
Really?
And they had one of the guys, Noel, who can do it. Sanford's the other, of course. Ball 2 is low to Galen, 2-1. A rare off night for Mike Antonini, the 6th pitcher used by the Patriots. The Barnstormers trying to beat Somerset for the first time in the last 7 meetings and square the season series at 7 each.
Yeah, this was a big advantage I thought Lancaster would have going in, knowing you were going to see a lot of different arms out of this Patriots bullpen. And with that, you've been able to see a couple of different arms, different styles to pitching. Barnstormers were able to pick and choose a couple that they could execute on.
2-1 the count to Galen. Bell leads off second. Antonini to the plate. Blake chases it into the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes here. Still another chance to get Bell home, and as we have seen this week, every run matters.
Yeah, it certainly does. It absolutely does, and there's nothing more that we want up here for a great send-off for Matt Reynolds, but look, the Somerset Patriots are not going to just give him 3 outs. They're going to try and battle him back.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Antonini ready to go. Galen pops this up and way up the third base line. Foul territory. Coronado will call for it and make the catch. He looked at Mike Blank at the very last second there, took his eye off the ball, but he was able to recover and make the catch. Ryan Castile to the plate. He is 0 for 3 with a walk.
I actually thought the ball was just going to drop for a second, the way Coronado looked at him.
The Barnstormers taking advantage of the Logan Kensing wildness early in the inning. Sanford and Bell come up with the big base hits. Castile digging in. Bell still waiting for a ride home. He is out at second. Left-hander out of the slide step, goes to work. Castile gets a ball up and away. Trayvon Robinson may get another chance to bat and extend his hitting streak. He got this all started with his second walk of the night.
Well, Somerset had a 5-run inning yesterday, including where they brought 10 men to the plate. Trayvon would be the 10th guy in this inning, an inning in which the Barnstormers have scored 5 runs. Lancaster giving justice to the Patriots.
1-0. Castile with a smash to first. Boyd was playing well off the bag. He handles it. That will end the inning. But the Barnstormers pick up 5 huge runs. They do it on 3 hits with no errors and 1 man left on. The 9th inning will come up. Matt Reynolds will draw the curtain on his career following what we hope to be his 25th save of the season. He's on his way in, and we'll be back with the 9th inning in a moment.
Most unique beer fest is coming to Clipper Magazine Stadium on Sunday, September 9th during the Barnstormers game against the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. That afternoon, samples from over 20 local breweries will be made available throughout the right field hospitality areas. Souvenir pint and sample glasses and a broken bat hat will go to everyone buying a ticket. VIP tickets are available for early entry and limited releases. For more information, go to www.lancasterbarnstormers.com.
So, John, what should the Steelers' focus be this season?
Steelers fast play for sure.
As opposed to what?
I'm talking Steelers fast play tickets from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Playing's faster than our wide receiver running a slant.
Faster than our defense blitzing the QB?
Oh, yeah. The game's got progressive top prizes, plus second chance drawings for Steelers game tickets, meet and greets, autographed merchandise, and more.
Wow. I'm going to get mine fast.
Fast Play. Play fast, win instantly. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day.
This will be a remarkable story. The Barnstormers picking up 5 runs in the bottom of the 8th, and they'll give Matt Reynolds one last save opportunity. Matt is not the classic closer, not the way baseball is played today. He's not the flamethrower that you usually get in the 9th inning. But he is 24 for 29 converting saves. He ran into a little hiccup back in June. Generally, he's been very good. Jace Boyd leads off here. Reynolds' first pitch is outside. It is a ball, 1-0.
I love his choice of his final song being Stone Cold Steve Austin's from the WWF days.
Ball 1, no strikes. Reynolds will come back. Boyd looks at a strike on the inside corner. It is 1-1. Reynolds on the year. 24 saves, 0-1, a 2.93 earned run average. He works to Boyd, 1-1 pitch into the zone, a second strike. It is 1-2. Barnstormers sent 9 men to the plate in the bottom of the 8th inning, put 5 runs on the board to take the lead. Here's the pitch to Boyd into the dirt, a 2-2 count. Somerset trailing here. York has won tonight 8-2 over Southern Maryland. Long Island has beaten the Road Warriors 4-2. New Britain and Sugar Land are tied in the 9th. Here's a 2-2 offering. Ball 3 is outside, filling the count to Boyd, starting off the 9th inning. It is 3-2. You get a run or 2 on base. Ryan Kelly will probably start to throw for Somerset. Here comes the payoff. Swung on, bounded foul up the third baseline. We continue at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Quite the pitcher's duel in that game at Sugar Land. Only 3 hits for each ball club.
Wow.
Through 8 innings. It was Kyle Simon against, as a line drive goes fouled on the right side, will stay at 3-2. Against a bullpen day.
Really? Sugarland bullpen day.
Yep.
Kyle Simon, I was going to say, we know a lot about.
Oh, he can be so good.
Yeah, he can.
Dan Runsler gave up the run in the 6th inning.
Somerset not quite the bullpen day the Skeeters are having.
Here's the payoff pitch to Boyd. He'll get the walk, and the tying run will come to the plate in Nate Coronado. Joe Gardner went 8, gave up 6 hits and 4 runs, walked 1, and struck out 2. A brilliant last 6 for the right-hander. Reynolds has walked the leadoff batter. Close to getting Boyd a couple of times, but not quite. And now Nate Coronado steps in. He is their slugger. Coronado 1 out of 3 tonight. Nice play by Hobson, his second time up. There's a strike taken. It is 0-1 from Reynolds. Matt would certainly love to get a ground ball double play here.
Yes, he would.
0-1. He'll go back to work on Coronado. A swing and a miss. It's 0-2.
I'm still, I don't know. I know you said Reynolds not your typical closer. He isn't going to throw the high heat, but there's something about a pitcher in a situation like this. You'd love to see a strikeout too.
Yeah. He's got, the thing with Reynolds is the reason he was given the closer's role. He's got that major league experience and the personality to do it. Swing and a miss. He got Coronado to chase. The Barnstormers 2 outs away from a victory tonight. Flores, the right fielder, will check in. He is 1 for 2 of the runs scored. It'll be a left-on-left matchup.
Question is now, moving forward after tonight, who is your closer?
I have not asked Ross that question. I'm going to on the Dugout Report tomorrow. Scott Schumann is expected to come back from Mexico.
Okay.
First pitch strike to Flores, but
I heard rumblings. I wasn't
that's
sure.
probably a week or two away, a couple weeks away, I would think. So
Right.
in the meanwhile, it's either got to be Caleb Fleck or Kevin Munson, I would certainly believe. 0-1 pitch, breaking ball is low, 1-1, and with that, I'm almost tempted to go with Matt Marksberry as my 8th inning guy right now.
Yeah. He's kind of been that a lot of times this year.
1 ball, 1 strike. And to Flores, he waves at it. That's strike 2.
All right. And this is where the Somerset Patriots have been an interesting team to play these last 2 days because they've gotten 9 runs, but they've done it with a 5-run inning yesterday, a 4-run inning today. Their scoring is not spread out, and now they have to battle back. They need at least 2.
1-2 to Flores. Breaking ball stays inside. He'll bat it 2-2. Ball game tonight that could reach 3 hours. A double play on this next pitch, and we might come up a little bit short.
Yeah.
Here's a 2-2. Flores will swing and bounce it foul past third. Boy, his intention was to get a ball down that line, with Bell playing a little bit wide of the bag. 2-2. Yeah. The outfield here largely in the no doubles. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Ramon Flores. 1 out, 1 on in the 9th inning. Justin Trapp waiting on deck. Here is the 2-2 offering. Flores will swing, ground that. Backhanded stab. Flias, he goes to second and gets a force out. And there's Vlad coming up big late in the game again behind Reynolds. 2 outs. Justin Trapp will step in.
Yep.
Not quite the drama of the other night with the Community Cup at stake, but still a wonderful play by Frias, diving into the hole and at least getting 1 out on the play.
And
if he could have gotten rid of it quickly, he might have had a chance to turn 2.
Yeah, I think it's a tough one to say there for sure, but he did get the lead runner.
Trapp is 0 for 2. He stands in. The pitch, swing and a miss. Reynolds has him down 0-1. Lancaster 6, Somerset 4. 2 outs and a runner on here in the 9th inning. Flores, the man on at first base. Force play intact. The Barnstormers will hold the runner there. And a trap. This is lifted out to right field. Noel back. Galen in. Barnstormers win. Matt Reynolds gets the job done. What a great comeback by the Barnstormers here tonight after surrendering 4 runs in the top half of the 2nd inning. And the offense sluggish for the first few. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 man left on base. A hearty congratulations to Matt Reynolds, saving number 25 on the season. A nice way to go out. Shades of Denny Harriger and Gabe Jacobo, even though those were perhaps in more dramatic times. In the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left. We'll have the wrap-up show coming your way next. Our final score, the Lancaster Barnstormers 6 and the Somerset Patriots 4.
You can measure the exceptional torque of the Lexus LX and the capability of its full-time 4-wheel drive. But the only way to truly understand it is to experience it. Discover the feeling of the Lexus line of SUVs at the Golden Opportunity Sales Event with exceptional offers on our most capable models. Now until September 4th. See Bobby Rahal Lexus in Mechanicsburg. Click the banner to discover more.
Celebrate the history of our national pastime at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown. See priceless treasures that will bring your baseball memories to life. Find stories that will inspire and surprise. Cooperstown is where you, your family, and your friends can relive baseball's greatest moments and honor the all-time greats of the game. See all that the Hall of Fame and Museum has to offer and plan your family visit today at baseballhall.org.
A great comeback win for the Lancaster Barnstormers here tonight, the 60th win of this 2018 season. And the Barnstormers, I've been saying this for a while now, Andrew, if they can just alternate wins and losses the rest of the way, they're going to be in very good shape. They negate the loss last night with this great comeback victory here tonight. 6 runs, 6 hits, 1 error, 10 left for the Barnstormers. 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors, 3 left for the Somerset Patriots. The win to Joe Gardner. He is 5-9. Great outing for Gardner tonight after the one bad inning. He recovered and faced just one batter over the minimum through the next 6, and that was because of an error. Logan Kensing taking the loss. He falls to 3-4, second loss hung on him by the Barnstormers this year. Matt Reynolds the save, his 25th. We did not see a home run here tonight. 3 hours, 2 minutes, the time of our game, and the crowd 4,363 watching baseball here this evening. The wrap-up show will be coming your way next, right here on the Lancaster Barnstormers YouTube channel.
Like craft beers, local wines? Well, the best place to be in Lancaster then is Clipper Magazine Stadium. That's right, all new for 2018 is the Broken Bat deck down the right field line. The Broken Bat will feature more than 20 local craft breweries and product from 2 local wineries. If something with a little more kick is your adult beverage of choice, a local distillery is part of the Broken Bat as well. Food will be sold off a pub-style menu, so get together, hang out with your friends, make some new ones, and enjoy a night of craft beer sampling along with a Barnstormers game.
You're totally probably safe to ride on your spare for what, 6, maybe 9 months?
Don't trust the wrong advice. Get the right tires at the right price right away. It's what we've been doing at Jack Williams Tire right here in Pennsylvania since our family started this business back in 1929. Because doing things the right way is just the Williams way. Get the right tires right now at jackwilliams.com.
An outstanding comeback for the Barnstormers tonight. The 8th time this year they have been trailing with 2 innings to go and have won the ball game. That's the mark of a very good comeback team. A funny series in progress here. Somerset with the 5-0 win last night on a 5-run first inning, and hardly anything happened after that. The Barnstormers only had 1 threat in the entire game. That came in the bottom half of the 4th inning. And tonight starts off in a sort of a similar vein, except the Barnstormers had the huge threat in the first inning. Ryan Webb trying to make a comeback through the Atlantic League, walked the bases loaded. He was able to get out of it. Somerset vaulted off of that into a 4-run top half of the second inning. Nate Coronado took an 0-2 pitch, looked like off the end of his bat out in left field. Ramon Flores banged a single to the backhanded side of Vladimir Frias. Runners at first and second with nobody out. Justin Trapp came in. He laid a bunt down, and Joe Gardner tried to get the lead man at third base. It turned out not to be the best decision, as his throw, I think, was going to be late on Coronado anyway. He rushed it, bounced it into Josh Bell, and the bases were loaded with nobody out. Mike Francoso slammed a double into the gap in right center field, scoring 3 runs. Francoso stayed at second base through a comebacker by Mike Blank. Then Alejandro, where did I get that? Alfredo Rodriguez singled into center field. Francoso held at third initially. Darian Sanford threw home. The play cut off in front of the plate by Ryan Castile. Castile then threw back to second. They eventually would tag him out, but he stayed in that rundown long enough for Rodriguez to get all the way around to third, and he would score on a wild pitch. The 4th run of the inning, the Patriots were up 4-0. Undaunted, Joe Gardner pitched 6 tremendous innings after that. He faced only 1 batter over the minimum, from innings 3 through 8. He, to some degree, maybe even more than some degree, the hero of the game for the Lancaster Barnstormers. The Barnstormers have been scuffling to score runs. They hadn't put a run across the plate since the 4th inning of the win on Thursday night when they scored 5. Darian Sanford had the biggest night for the Barnstormers with 2 outs and 2 on in the 4th inning. He singled into center field, driving in Casey Hobson with the first Barnstormers run of the night. Then the struggles continued until we got to the 8th inning. The Barnstormers were able to build a big inning, and how often does it start with walks? It did tonight. Logan Kensing walked Trayvon Robinson. He stole second. He walked Casey Hobson. The runners moved up on a wild pitch. Then he hit Vladimir Frias, loading the bases with nobody out, and Robinson had scored. So on the wild pitch, actually, that had sent, he scored on a second wild pitch, I guess, in the inning. Let me clarify that. So runners at first and second with nobody out. Tyler Bortnick tried to sacrifice the runners along, failed to do it, struck out on a 3-2 pitch. It looked like Kensing had an opening to get out of the inning. Rico Noel had a slow ground ball to the hole at shortstop, but Coronado was playing up, and Rodriguez was swung towards second base. The ball not hit terribly hard, but it took Rodriguez a long time to get there. He made the diving stop. By the time he did, Hobson was arriving at third base. The only play he had was there, but the throw was late. Bases loaded with 1 out. Mike Antonini, who has been the lefty ace out of the bullpen for the Patriots this year, came in, but he couldn't cool off the Barnstormers by that point. Darian Sanford ripped a base hit into left. That drove in the second run of the inning. Casey Hobson scored on that. It was, at that point, 4-3. The bases were still loaded, and Josh Bell unloaded them in a hurry with a blast over the head of Justin Trapp in left field, a 3-run double. The Barnstormers winning 6-4. Turning it over to Matt Reynolds, who did, after a leadoff walk, get the side in order in the top of the ninth. The Barnstormers victorious by a final score of 6-4 here this evening. Along with that, the York Revolution winning 8-2 tonight, so they will stay within 7.5 of the Barnstormers in the wild card chase. Long Island extends its lead in the second half in the Liberty division. They will take a 4.5 lead into tomorrow as Long Island beat the Road Warriors tonight 4-2. The game in progress and of interest is at Sugarland. New Britain and the Skeeters are tied at 1 in the bottom half of the 9th inning. 2 outs and a runner at first base with Albert Cordero coming to the plate for the Sugarland Skeeters. Could go extras. Cordero can be tough in those situations. If Sugarland wins, the Barnstormers lead will be back to 6.5 games over the New Britain Bees. The magic number in that chase would drop to 16. Right now, it is 17 for the Lancaster Barnstormers, and the magic number in terms of locking out the York Revolution in the wild card chase has dropped to now 14 for this Barnstormers ball club. 60 wins for Lancaster, 52 losses for York, and the Barnstormers have the tiebreaker. So it is, at the moment, 14.
Yeah, it's a weird week to make out what you think of things, because there's been a lot of bad innings. There's been a lot of runs that both teams have been able to score. But at the end of the day, we start a new week effective tomorrow. It's Sunday. Barnstormers ended up, 3-3 over on the week? It's not terrible. You play 500, and we talked about this last night. At the end of the day, if this team can play 500 baseball, you're pretty much a lock for the postseason. Right now, the only teams you got to worry about, one in each division. It's York and it's New Britain. I guess you could say Long Island, but they've got a decent lead over Somerset for that second half title. So I think really you look at the Bees, you look at the Revs, you controlled your destiny with the Revolution taking 10 of 18 this season, so you won that. Still 3 games to come at New Britain against the Bees, but I like what the Barnstormers are doing, and I think they're in a position where after a big win like this, you try and cap it tomorrow, take a series win away from here, and you've got a long, fairly long, and important road trip to take care of effective this coming week. And Dave, I think if you come out on the other side of that in good shape, you could see this team clinching a playoff spot here at home with all the doubleheaders we're going to have. quite well could happen before.
I think that is the goal for this Barnstormers ball club, is to be able to wrap up the playoff spot during that series against Southern Maryland at home. It's a difficult thing to do. The Barnstormers will have to pick up some ground on New Britain before we go there. New Britain has an extra game that week. So Lancaster would have to actually, if my calculations are correct, be leading by 7.5 over New Britain going into that final week in order to clinch it at home. And, of course, York would have to be out of the picture, and York would have to be also out of the picture for winning the second half in the Freedom Division. The Revs are going to try and put on a charge. That is a very good ball club. I still do not, even after the Barnstormers won that big game the other night, I do not count the York Revolution completely out of this race. They, I think, of the three teams, they got the easiest schedule. 5 against the Road Warriors. Still to play for the York Revolution. They do have to take on Somerset 7 times for the last 2 weekends of the regular season.
I think all things considered, you can tell me if you disagree or not, I think our 2 biggest series left is the 3-game series against New Britain and the 4 games against Sugar Land.
4 games against Sugar Land, definitely, and the 3 games against New Britain, even more so. You'd like to think the Barnstormers would still have a substantial lead going into New Britain, and by substantial, I mean bigger than 3.5 games.
Right.
If the Barnstormers are up 4.5 games going into that series, they can afford to drop 2 out of 3 and still come home ultimately with a magic number, if I'm thinking this through correctly, of just 1.
Yeah.
They'd be 3.5 up. All they'd have to do is win one against the Road Warriors. New Britain would be locked out. If it's any closer than 4.5, then New Britain could tip the scales by sweeping that series. But that's a bit down the road. Tonight we savor this victory. Darian Sanford, the big night at the plate for the Barnstormers. He goes 2 for 3, 2 clutch RBI singles. He steals his 63rd base of the season. Also had a couple of walks. And then Josh Bell. How good was it to see Josh, who's been struggling at the plate, come up with that game-winning double in the bottom half of the 8th inning.
Yeah, it ultimately came down to veterans on this team. JB with a 3-run double that, that might be my favorite call you've had this season. That was really exciting there. You had the table set, bases loaded. You knew that Bell had to come in, and we talked, well, maybe he gets a sac fly, maybe he gets a run home, tie the game. Instead, you can't say you blow the game out, but you take advantage, you cap off a big inning. You mentioned the 8th time this season now that the Barnstormers have done this in the 8th or 9th inning. The last 2 innings of a game, they come back and do it. There is some magic dust on this team that's sprinkled in every now and then, and if it's there more often, this team will be able to win a lot more games. But the big veteran, JB, gets it done on the plate side. And then Matt Reynolds, ex-major leaguer and a guy who has been a closer by committee, I think you would use the terminology for, has done a tremendous job in doing so. He calls it a career tonight. I love the fact that he did it ahead of time, the fact that we knew this was going to be his last chance. Sometimes you don't have a chance to really say goodbye over the air. The fact that we did it like that, and he got a great save, number 25 on the year. What better way to end it, Dave, than Barnstormers win?
Rock solid guy who's had a very, very good career, and we are used to this here in Lancaster in the Atlantic League. We're used to guys having this be their final hurrah, and a tip of the cap to Matt Reynolds, coming out of Austin Peay University down in Tennessee and putting together what has been an outstanding career. We wish him, we wish his family very well in the future, and in the future, he'll be the subject of a Rogers & Associates Building a Better Future piece here at Clipper Magazine Stadium. 6-4, the Barnstormers victorious tonight. Andrew, take us through the Major League scoreboard.
I gladly will, Dave. We have a few finals happening from earlier this afternoon and evening. The Yankees a 10-3 win over the Baltimore Orioles. I also saw the Cubs take a 2-0 series lead over the Cincinnati Reds this weekend. 10-6 the score there. The Giants and Rangers had a day game in San Francisco with a 5-3 victory over Texas. The Mets yet again shut out the Nationals. Back-to-back games, by the way. It was 3-0 shutouts for New York. Toronto Blue Jays beat the Phillies 8-6. Philadelphia continues to go downward now. Boston Red Sox lost again to the Tampa Bay Rays 5-1. The Rays taking a series from the best team in baseball, who already has 81 wins. Chicago White Sox beat the Detroit Tigers 6-1. The second half of that doubleheader between the Yanks and Orioles at Camden Yards is about to wrap up. Yankees took game one, I mentioned a moment ago. They're up 5-1 in the bottom of the ninth. We'll see if the Orioles do anything there. The A's at the Twins. They're up 4-2 in the eighth inning. Brewers are down 6-1 against the Pittsburgh Pirates through 8 innings. The Marlins up 3-0 over the Braves at the bottom of the eighth. So kind of status quo again in the National League East, because if the Marlins win, the Braves remain just 3 games ahead of Philadelphia. The Royals of Kansas City, a 7-1 lead over the Cleveland Indians through 8 innings. We've also got a scoreless game in the 7th. St. Louis Cardinals, Colorado Rockies. The Cardinals, in my opinion, look to be playoff bound via the wild card. Rockies are going to have to try and do the same thing because they're behind the Diamondbacks by a little in the NL West. And, of course, the Diamondbacks are playing against the Mariners. It's 1-1 in the top of the 5th. Also early into 2 other games tonight. The Astros up 3-0 on the Angels already in the second inning. And the Los Angeles Dodgers are at home leading the Padres 3-1 in the top half of the third. That is your Major League scoreboard.
The Barnstormers pull out a 6-4 victory, a thrilling comeback effort by the Barnstormers here tonight, winning their 60th game of the season. They have the second best overall record in the Atlantic League by 3 games. And again, as I said, the 8th time this year that the Barnstormers have been trailing going into the final 2 innings and have won a game, and at least the second time that we know of that they have done it against the Somerset Patriots on the field here at Clipper Magazine Stadium. Tomorrow, we'll play the rubber game of this series. Nate Reed on the hill for the Barnstormers. He is 10-3 on the season, the first Barnstormers 10-game winner in the last 4 seasons. They'll match up against tough right-hander Vince Molesky, who is 4-2. Molesky has hopped into the starting rotation. He was a great long reliever for the Patriots earlier in the season. Could be an outstanding pitcher's duel tomorrow. If you're not able to make it out to the ballpark on a family fun day brought to you by Domino's, then be sure you're tuned in here to the Barnstormers YouTube channel. We'll have it for you beginning with the Gockenauer Home Appliances Dugout Report at 12:45. Until then, for my partner Andrew Mossbrooks, for our PR assistant Joey Greer, and for all the cast and crew here at Clipper Magazine Stadium, I'm Dave Collins. Have a great evening, everyone, and we'll see you at the ballpark.